Hello, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzman here, alongside Ryan, who I believe is in the background. See if he got his camera. He's
I
here.
sure am here.
He's somewhere in here. It's a black screen, but we got you. Severe thunderstorm warning just came in here just before 5 o'clock. It is way up here in the kind of central Michigan region, just north of Gladwin. And this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for northwestern Gladwin County and southeastern Roscommon County until 5:30 p.m. 4:56 p.m., severe thunderstorm was located over Skeels, or 9 miles northwest of Gladwin, moving northeast at 25. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are the main hazard with this storm, and a tornado is also possible. Weak rotation was observed on radar. Expect damage to roof siding and trees. And this thunderstorm will be near Nestor Township around 5 o'clock. To repeat, 60-mile-per-hour winds and a tornado possible here on this storm. You can see on the center of your screen right now, that is the velocity radar. This is the measurement of wind speeds and direction in the atmosphere. So anything in green is wind heading towards the radar, and anything in red is wind heading away. And where those colors come close together, that's where we look for some rotation. In this instance, it looks fairly broad right now. However, the colors are also a little higher than we would like to see, and that is inducive of some, again, weak rotation that is currently being monitored by both us and the National Weather Service in Gaylord. So again, this is north of Gladwin here in central Michigan. And in fact, that latest scan does uptick it just a little bit as this continues to move through rural portions of northern Gladwin County. I believe there's a little city out here called Buttman as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan.
Yes, Buttman would be in the path of this, as well as Edwards, Sugar Rapids, and Bowmanville. It's going to be in the very far north part of Gladwin County, the southeast part of Roscommon, the southwest part of Ogemaw counties. The radar beam at this height is just over 4,000 feet. That is the lowest scan we're going to get on this storm. So unfortunately, what's happening underneath the 4,000 foot mark, we are not going to see on radar.
Yeah, and from
Rotation
looking,
did get a little bit tighter there.
as I say, looking at it from the Grand Rapids radar, it's really tough to see. The only closest radar is going to be Gaylord, which is still 3 counties away. As mentioned, Ryan said it is about 44 or 4,100 feet off the ground, so pretty far up. Anything below that beam limit, can't really see. But that is right on Dutcher Road right now, at Shaw Road, as well as, let's see if I can zoom in here. Some of these are also 2-track roads. We got Shearer Road, Shearer, and I believe Blue Lake Drive. So again, this is rural portions of Gladwin County in central Michigan. This would be eventually tracking off to the northeast towards eventually Ogemaw County. Again, that orange box kind of denotes that is moving off to the northeast there, given that it's extended out in that direction. So West Branch, if they can stay together, it would be heading off into your neck of the woods, likely within the next hour. Again, these storms are moving off to the northeast at 25, so it's going to take a while to get to West Branch if it stays together. But keep that in mind, heading off in your direction. Right now, heading towards Buttman and Edwards, as previously mentioned.
I also have my screen share. I have our Lake Orion camera set up. Nice storm into Lake Orion here via the Vanguard camera. That's a storm further downstate, though. This is not the storm that's currently warned. This is a storm that did have a statement on it as we went through the Oakland County area. Gusty winds are possible, but severe winds are not expected. Isolated severe storms in terms of the damaging winds are possible today. There is a little bit of spin out there, which is causing some of these storms to at least attempt to rotate weakly. Okay. I don't expect there to be anything tornadic today, but it is Michigan, and we always say here it's a low chance, but never zero chance. So
Absolutely.
this warning up in The Buttman area does have that possible tag for a tornado. We'll monitor that here throughout the next couple of minutes. Right now, though, get that uploaded. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Unfortunately, the only radar we're going to have is Canadian radar or Detroit radar to really hone in on this a little bit better. But rotation continues. It's going to be just north of the town, or sorry, just east of Skeels. Going to pass very close to Oberlin, just to the north of Oberlin. Going to cross F97 here, just north of M18.
And that latest scan continues to increase the rotation a little bit. You can see the greens there on the right side of your screen as again our velocity radar, so our measurement of winds. The brighter those colors are getting, the more likelihood that the winds are increasing in speed here in northern Gladwin County. Again, heading up towards Buttman. You said M18.
Yeah, just north of M18, just north of Oberlin.
Gotcha. Yep. So center that rotation right
Actually
now.
moving in towards Lake Lancer. It's a pretty populated area there between Hockaday and Buttman. Numerous little side streets and numerous population here. And looking at the latest scan here, Joel, the gate to gate on this is about 55 to 60 miles per hour. That is probably very close, if not over uh, tornado warning criteria. So we'll see if they put a tornado warning on this, if this continues to strengthen or at least maintain itself.
Yeah. Again, ever since we went live here a couple minutes ago, we've been live for about 7 minutes now. This rotation has continued to increase. And again, the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for 60-mile-per-hour winds and a tornado possible. So it is basically the last stage before they start issuing tornado warnings. As mentioned, the rotation here needs to get to a certain point, the gate-to-gate shear specifically. And we're about at that threshold right now where they could definitely trigger a tornado warning here soon. If anything, it would be for northern Gladwin County, eventually also heading off towards extreme southwest Roscommon and southeast Roscommon, southwest Ogemaw County. So it would be heading up kind of in the vicinity of West Branch in the probably the hour to come if it can stay together. But as of right now, it is currently still back here north of Gladwin near the Buttman area.
Kind of going back down to Oakland County, it looks like the outflow from the storm is passing over the camera. It's a little gusty there, probably right around 30, 35, maybe 40 miles per hour at most on the storm guard camera. So if you're in Oakland County in the Lake Orion area, prepare yourself for some gusty winds. Not severe, but strong nonetheless. Could blow your trash cans around. Oxford Township, Leonard, or Orion Township, Auburn Hills, and Rochester Hills would be out ahead of that.
I also just toggled on the correlation coefficient radar here. You can see on the left side of the screen there's a lot of pinks. Again, that is the intensity of your rain. Anywhere you see the pinks as well, it could be some hail falling, and we use the correlation coefficient radar on the right to kind of match that up. We're getting a tiny little bit of a third body scatter spike here, Ryan. So I'd be inclined to believe that there's at least some decent sized hail falling in there. But we'll also be using this radar for watching out for, perhaps some debris at this current time. But right now, it does not appear to be on the ground, but it is close.
Yeah, looking at the hail core too, Joel, the core of the storm is actually pretty healthy to about 13,000 feet. So very low top in nature today. It's not a very tall storm.
Yeah. I believe we had a new special alert statement come in here.
Yes, I think it's for Midland County. I don't have it on my end yet. I was going to call it out when I saw it, but I don't have it yet.
Yep. So it's going to be for Midland and Bay County. Winds in excess of 40. And that is the only hazard. It's moving east at 30 miles per hour. So this is going to be heading into central Bay County near Pinconning. It's over Hope and Sanford right now. Go back up to our storm that is currently severe thunderstorm warned. looking. We look for those bright reds and greens on radar, and you're seeing very much so the bright greens. But the reds, obviously,
Yeah,
there's a nice area there where there's a lot of reds. But
latest scan
go ahead.
latest scan increases the inbound winds.
Yeah,
We're at 53 and 26, so we're getting close to 65, 70 now.
238 at 20 is the storm motion. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's also looks like it's trying to. Yeah, I don't like this at all. If you're in the abutment area to Sugar Rapids over toward Bowmanville, Oberlin, along M18 here toward Hockaday, you need to be probably inside away from windows and just in case this storm is going to put something down here. I don't like the way this radar loop is looking. Very populated area here as well, right over Lake Lancer, Grass Lake, and Sugar River area. It's a very populated area here. Again, we're not seeing anything that's on the ground right now this second, but it looks pretty close. New scan coming in.
Do you have your radar up, or is it still your cam?
It is my cam. Do you want me to put my radar on there?
Yeah, just because you have a lot more of the small cities. I know there's a lot of unincorporated cities up there and small
Yep, I
cities
got it.
that
I got you.
Omega has.
It's live.
Okay. Also, real quick, shout out to Hopin with a 199 super chat. Macomb County, please say bad storms. I love them. Can't guarantee anything for Macomb County, but the strong storms would be heading your way later this evening. Main time frame for Macomb is going to be around 7 to 10 o'clock.
Looking at the latest couple of scans here, this is a very populated area. If you guys can see it on my radar here, if I zoom way in, all these intersecting roads here, these are all houses or cabins. I assume they're houses. But it's right on Lake Lancer here, as well as Grass Lake. And this storm is moving directly toward it, which is not good. So again, this is going to be M18 down here. This is going to be Oberlin M18, Sugar Rapids right here, M30 right here, Buttman's right here. Area of interest is right in here, moving about east. Excuse me, east at about 30 or so miles per hour. What does the Texas warning say?
Tornado warning has been issued.
There it is. Tornado warning, radar indicated. Tornado warning here, and this is going to be for the Buttman area. Again, so if you guys are in the Lake Lancer area or Grass Lake, anywhere around that area, be inside, preferably in your basement. If you don't have a basement, go to the lowest floor of your house.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
I have it in
Is
my.
that delayed
I have it on my web
on your
browser.
end? Okay, got you. So again, this is going to be moving to the east northeast here, more so east lately. Looks like it's trying to turn right there, as these storms usually do when they produce or about to produce a tornado here. So it looks like a more easterly track for right now. So even Sugar Rapids, I'd be on alert here, but this warning stops just to the north of Hockaday. Lake Lancer, Grass Lake, immediate areas of impact here as this tornado warning storm now moves to the east northeast. Yeah, there you go. There is your couplet here. Now, again, we're looking at 53 miles per hour on this side and about 26 on that side. Put that together. That's right around, might be around 80 miles an hour. Is my math correct there? 80 miles an hour, gate to gate or so? About
Well,
53 and 26.
yeah.
So about 80 miles per hour. That's equivalent to a weak EF0 tornado. If you put that together, that's the kind of winds we're talking about here. So definitely strong enough to produce a tornado at this point. And again, it's moving right toward Lake Lancer. The good news is it's moving pretty slow. So you have some time to react if you out ahead of this. We're here toward Edwards or Indian Lake area here by M30. But immediate areas crossing into the Lake Lancer area is right now. This couplet just crossed Round Lake Road and is about to cross or directly over Buttman Road, as well as Sandbridge Court, Queens Way, Queens Court, Princess Way, Queens Circle, anywhere along Lake Lancer here, Appleby Court, Lancer Drive, Weatherby Court, Compton Court, Queensway, Buxton Court, uh, Lance, Lancelot Court. Anywhere really in the Lake Lancer area needs to be inside, away from windows, in your basement right now.
I'm getting a post up real quick, Ryan.
I was put the graphic with the warning here.
I already did that
So
as well.
okay, cool. Thank you. You're on top of it.
Yep.
Love it. That up here. Looks like they have just trimmed the warning back, or no? No. Okay.
Nope.
Must be my computer is not updating. I also, I mean, it's hard to tell here, being that we're so high up in the atmosphere with the radar, but CC is very cluttered, so I don't believe we're going to see anything on the ground with the CC unless it's a very, very deep CC, very strong tornado. So that's good news. We're not seeing anything right now, but it's so cluttered. I would not be shocked if there's one on the ground. We just can't see it. So treat it as one that is on the ground right now. You can't confirm that via radar, but it is strong enough that I would suggest there could be one down right now or
And we saw this last year, Ryan, when I was up there chasing in
yeah.
the Gladwin County area, with the beam height being so far away. That was a common issue. Um, Again, we saw it, especially when I was chasing. I saw the rain bands wrapping in, but I remember the correlation coefficient last year on those storms, especially the Lake George tornado as well. Really didn't show much in terms of CC, but lo and behold, there was still a tornado confirmed on it once survey went out and went and found everything, and we saw the damage firsthand as well.
And that was also, I believe it was a long track tornado, like 40 minutes on the ground. So we
Yeah.
couldn't see it at all on radar here. So again, we can't confirm it's on the ground via radar, but would not be shocked if it's on the ground right now. Latest scan did weaken the inbound winds just slightly here. That's good news, but still a very strong couplet moving directly into Lake Lancer and Grass. Hockaday Road is on deck here. It's going to cross and run parallel very close to Grass Lake Road on the east side of Lake Lancer. Hockaday, Sugar Rapids going to come very close to you. We'll likely go M30 here, north-south road out about 3 to 4 miles to your east. Be on deck as this moves towards your direction. Again, this is moving more so easterly than northerly per latest scans here. So I'm not sure if it's going to get to the very tar northern end of this. I don't see any excuse me, I don't see any townships up there, which is good news. Edwards, though, would be on alert. Indian Lake area. There's no town around here, but there is population I can tell here with all the roads. Indian Lake and Elk Lake areas here, just off of M30. See Stillwagon Road, and then over here, a little more populated area here by Wildwood Road, and this area here, which would be Daly Road, and it's sub roads that go off that. When we say CC, that means correlation coefficient. That is basically our terms of tornadoes. It can also be a hail tracker as well. So kind of like a dual mode. Right now, we're going to use it for debris, though. If we're going to see anything on the ground, we're going to see it via CC.
Okay, post is up on Facebook. Right as it's weakening. We'd love to see it though. At least
Yep.
at least on my side of things, it looks like it's weakening.
It is just slightly. I think Omega's having some issues trying to get a good grasp itself, so I don't really trust velocity. GR2 is what I have up on my right side. I still have gate to gate right around that. About 60 miles per hour, so it's still a good ways there. Again, the radar beam at this height is 4,200 feet. So what's happening below 4,200 feet is not going to be seen by Doppler radar here. So we very well could have something or had something on the ground in the past 10 or 15 minutes here. We just couldn't see it. So if you guys live in this area or know family that does, get a hold of them, make sure they're okay. But if you're watching from this particular area, feel free, if you have pictures, reports of damage, anything like that, feel free to send it in to us via Messenger or via our Facebook group called Michigan Weather Reports. We would appreciate that. We need to know if anybody has to do so safely. Would greatly help us here, as radar is not the best tool to use in terms of the beam height here today.
Also taking a peek behind the scenes a little bit at some storms around the state right now, just to see if any of them have a similar sort of mezzo ongoing. In terms of the answer to that question is right now there's gusty winds kind of within every single cell, but the one I'm also looking at right now is the one that is statemented, heading just north of Midland right now into Bay. It does look like it has just gusty winds on it right now, no rotation. But again, it has kind of that, it has a little bit of an elongated kidney bean shape to it, so we will have to watch it. It does have some clean inflow on the southern end, but right now the main concern is still up there in northern Gladwin.
If I recall correctly, Cody's close up there, isn't he? Maybe he's not.
He went south towards the storm that was heading up 69.
Gotcha.
So that
We
storm's
also got
now
Mike.
in Flint.
Right. We got Mike behind us, or top right of your corner there. I believe he's down in Detroit Metro, Southeast Michigan area. I'm not sure exact location for him, but he's chasing further south. I know that much.
I have him heading towards Ann Arbor. There's a cell heading through Ann Arbor shortly.
Okay. Further downstate, we'll take a quick peek down here. Got scattered storms down further south here. These are not currently severe. No statements on these either. And if any of those do become warned or strong in nature, we'll let you guys know. But downstate, there's no risk at this current moment, which is as of 5:21 p.m. There's nothing severe downstate. Back up here to the tornado warning. Looks like the latest scan is coming in. Also wouldn't be shocked to see some hail falling there over Lake Lancer. Speak. New statement coming in now for the Cass City area. It's going to be for this particular area near Vassar. Probably just for some winds here. I couldn't imagine anything else besides that. Wait for that box to pop in.
Yep. 40-mile-per-hour winds, no hail.
Okay. So, Caro, Dayton area, M46, Kingston, Mayville, Juanita. There for some gusty winds. Currently not severe for. There's your blue box. It's going to be in effect until 6 p.m. Eastern. Looking at the storm down here, a little bit of a interesting hook-like feature on the storm just north of Midland.
Elongated beam.
We're going to watch that closely. Again, this is in a radar gap here, so we're not going to have good coverage of what's happening in this Saginaw, Midland, Bay City area. That's the unfortunate part of all these radars. Over here, we have a radar in Detroit over here, and the closest radar is Gaylord up there. This area right up here in the Tri-Cities is just in a hole. None of the three radars do us any justice there. So anyway, back over here to the tornado warned storm. I do not have the continues to be, looks to be 39 next. So still roughly 70 miles per hour of gate to gate, which is still on the verge of a weak tornado. Looks like they went ahead and trimmed the severe warning down very just for Buttman, although the spear warning definitely is shadow. Tornado warning does. This is going to be radar indicator. Still radar indicator per the warning text.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
So Discord is cutting your voice up a lot on my end.
Same for you on my end too.
It must be a communication thing. So I don't know if there's a way to turn on the audio on your screen share.
Go ahead and mute my Discord.
Okay. I've noticed that before. You speaking? I don't see anything coming through from your voice. I might just stay on Discord then.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to exit and then come back in.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get us an update here for that tornado warning, which is still in effect until 5:45. If you're on this tornado warning, is this red box up here. This is again heading up into the Ogemaw County region. Currently, the center of this rotation on the center of your screen is directly on Sugar River Road just to the south of Sugar River Road, kind of in the vicinity of Sugar River Road and Leetonville Road. And it is about to cross State Highway 30 here very soon. It's getting very, very close to Edwards at the current time. Again, Vernon Street, Elk Lake Road, and Indian Lake Drive, also roads in the path of this rotating storm. And again, it looks like it's tracking more in the southern half of this tornado warning as it stands right now. So it'd be kind of following along M30 as it heads up eventually towards West Branch. Again, tornado possibly on the ground. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as it continues. Correlation coefficient radar, which is a measurement of perhaps things that are being lofted in the atmosphere that are not circular in nature, so it could be debris. Shows that the back half of this storm, well, actually in the center of the storm is where we're seeing some of those pinks and reds change to yellows and greens, which is indicative of perhaps some hail that could be falling in this location. Again, the center of the storm, center of the meso is right where that hail would be. So again, the rotation is kind of the front side, which is a little, kind of call it like a side lobe. It's a little bit kind of funky radar data. But nevertheless, again, they are still reds and greens next to each other, and there's a lot of them too. So here on velocity radar, that's what we look for, is the reds and greens close together like that, where they meet in the middle. Right there is going to be where the rotation is the strongest. It still continues to be at least somewhat decent at the current time. We're also watching, it looks like this entire line, Ryan, has a bunch of different little kinks all up and down it right now. There's even a tiny one here just north of Gladwin. Less impressive, but nevertheless there is something there that is within this cell, about 2 or 3 miles outside of town. But the main cell right now is still this one heading into Edwards.
This is my audio out here. How do I sound for you?
Good. Keep speaking, I'll let you know.
Okay. Perfect. I'll get my screen share back up. Should already be good. Good to go. Perfect. This is going to move now toward M30, next couple of minutes, just south of Sugar River Road and north of Ritchie Road. Cedar Lake Road, also a north-south road to the east of M30 on deck for this. And further to the east, if this continues, this is going to be for a bench, or I'm going to call it Bench Road. It's BENSCH. Bench. I don't know.
Something like that.
Let's call it Bench Road. Edwards and Bowmanville, as well as Hardlook, Greenwood, and Alger would be on deck if this continues on its eastward trek. Thank you, Dawn, for that. Hopefully it stays out.
Sounds like you got it right, Ryan. It's bench.
Good. Gaylord has continued their tornado warning, trimming it back, it appears.
Yep.
It continues for radar indicated rotation. So they are not aware of it being down. If they were, they would upgrade to an observed tornado, which is good news. So they're not aware of anything at this current time. If you guys are in this area and you have damage, pictures, videos, and you can send those into us safely, we encourage you to do so. We would like to be notified of anything happening in this area. Population up there is not as high as it is further south, so not as many people out there to send us reports and stuff. So anything you guys have would be appreciated from the area.
And this is northern Gladwin County and extreme southwestern Ogemaw County in central Michigan. So north of kind of the Bay City, Midland, Saginaw region. New statement
incoming for Flint, looks like. Take the Detroit radar here. Wow, look at that. Gusty winds here. A little bit of a shear line looks like here, trying to develop between looks like Flint and Davison. Indicative of some strong winds, perhaps some weak rotation in there as well. Statement is now incoming. Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour is the hazard there. What happened there? Cell merger. Got it.
Yep.
All right. So statement here for Otisville, Burton, Flint, Lapeer, North Branch, Columbiaville, um, Grand Blanc, Atlas, Hadley, those general areas, as well as down here by Linden and Fenton, all within this statement. Up here in this one as well, Dayton, Caro, Cass City, Kingston, Mayville, and Juanita, all within a special weather statement here for 40 miles per hour winds.
I'm still looking at the tornado warning behind the scenes here. It's really tough to tell, honestly, Ryan, given that we are so far away from the radar site at 4,400 feet uh, off the ground. Whether or not the correlation coefficient, kind of blues and greens we're seeing in there, is actually hail or actually debris being lofted. Again, it's all kind of within the same vicinity. So you could play it safe and kind of indicate that this correlation coefficient drop is debris being lofted. And if that's the case, it would be passing over M30 right now, just south of Sugar River Road as we speak. So it's going north of Secord Lake right now, the Secord Dam.
Yeah, I'm tracking this back as well on CC. I don't see any definitive debris ball that has been lofted by any means at all. I don't think we're going to see it. There was one, honestly.
Right.
It's just so cluttered. So I'm going to pop open the power outage map and check that out here.
If you guys are still having audio issues, sometimes it is also on YouTube's end, so feel free to refresh.
Some good news here, Joel. There are no reported outages in the path of this storm.
Perfect. We're going to hope that means that no tornadoes touch down.
Let's hope that continues to be the trend.
Absolutely.
Yep. And looking at the latest couple scans here, rotation has weakened. It's still there, but has weakened. Also, taking a close eye further south here toward the Gladwin area, Joel.
Windy.
Yeah, it looks like perhaps some weak rotation down there, but would expect there to be at least some wind with that. Gladwin, Beaverton areas. Further to the west, we have pretty much open radar for the Grand Rapids area, so it looks like you guys are out of the woods here for anything strong today. Further east, where the marginal risk is currently in place, we have scattered to numerous thunderstorms that have developed across Marshall, Sturgis, Jackson, Hillsdale, Ann Arbor areas, all the way up through Flint and even some Sterling Heights areas. That's going to be just at this current moment, some rain showers with some gusty winds. Take a closer look here at this storm up in Ann Arbor. Okay. Perhaps a bit of a downburst going on there. Not really strong, though, but perhaps some gusty winds, 20 to 30 miles per hour there. Up here in the Flint area caught my eye, and that's going to pass very close to our Burton camera. In fact, it's crossing just to the north of the Burton camera, which unfortunately is offline today. See what's back up here just momentarily. Wouldn't have a view on this either way because it's facing to the south, but yeah, still down.
I do want to mention this, Ryan. Again, there's so much traffic coming back from the 4th of July weekend as well. If this tornado warning continues, the rotation stays together, this will be impacting the I-75 corridor here, south of West Branch, probably within like the next hour. It's, again, continuing to move off to the northeast about 25 miles per hour, so it's rather slow. So really anytime after 6 o'clock, it would be impacting I-75 in Ogemaw County, really, as the storm moves in that direction. There's also those storms down the line. I'll take my screen back here real quick. All these storms in these clusters down the line that are also just impacting I-75 through Ogemaw County, in through Aranet County, and down even into Bay County here in the next hour or two. So very rainy, travel back for some, and obviously again you have the tornado warning that is in effect just off to the west of I-75 right now. Also obviously right on the M30 corridor, so if anyone's taking M30 south or north right now, this is traveling pretty much right up M30. So again, a lot of travelers out there today, moving back home from the 4th of July weekend. So feel free to spread the word with any of your friends and family that might be traveling, or if you yourself are traveling. And if you don't know anyone, obviously hitting that like and the share button goes a long ways just as much. Take your cam
You're
back.
cutting out really bad for me, dude. Can you try to restart your Discord?
Okay.
See if that helps it. Not sure. It might just be a Discord thing today, guys. To broadcast to you guys via audio. So if there's a problem within Discord, it may just be a problem you can't fix today. So give us a few seconds. We're going to try to restart this, and we'll see if that helps. Looks like they just updated the warning now. Cancels Ogama as well as Roscommon counties. It continues for Gladwin until 5:45. So a very small sliver of northern Gladwin County in that warning now. It's going to move toward Wildwood Road as well as Bench Road.
Looks like it's starting to slide just a little, maybe just a tad bit south of downtown Edwards.
Yep. Go ahead and reshare your screen for me, please.
Yep.
Also, looks like the latest scan increased the DBZ just a bit here, so perhaps some small hail falling as well. I wouldn't expect there to be large hail with this, being the storm is not very tall in nature, but there is some 60 DBZs in there that could indicate that we got some small, perhaps medium-sized hail falling. Okay, maybe it's just on my end then. He sounds better to me now, so hopefully that fixed it.
So for those who are just tuning in, this is a tornado warning remaining in effect for just northern Gladwin County at the current time. It's the only county underneath any sort of warning in the state right now. This storm is heading kind of towards the Ogama-Aranet County line. If you're any other counties surrounding it, you're not going to be affected by the storm. So if you're north of Oscoda, if you're back in Roscommon, if you're up in Alcona, the storm's not going to be heading your way. You're going to be outside of the threat for this current storm that is tornado warned. And again, this tornado warning remains in effect until about 5:45, so it's got another 8 minutes on it as this continues into the Edwards area.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing anything power outage wise in the Lake Lancer area, so that's going to be good news as far as at least current time 5:37 p.m. is concerned. There's no outages from where this storm would have crossed. There is some outages further north here toward West Branch. I'm not sure. Looks like these have been reported since about noon today, so I'm not sure there's a previous storm that went through or perhaps just unrelated issues. There are some outages to the north that have been there for a while, looks like, but in terms of the exact track this storm has taken so far, no outages. Head back south here toward the Flint area. Yeah, looks like just some wind now moving in. So Lapeer, I-69 from Flint to Lapeer up to M24, North Branch, Columbiaville, Mayville, and Kingston areas, as well as Cass City and Dayton on alert for some currently gusty but not severe winds. This area down here in northern Ann Arbor, northern Washtenaw County, is catching my eye and has caught my eye here. Via Detroit radar, gusty winds 45 or so miles per hour is occurring there. But the airport radar here, last we checked, looked like a bit of a downburst, but the winds here are much weaker, right around 30 miles per hour. So perhaps some gusty winds on the north side there toward Northfield Township, South Lyon, Rushton area. But those don't appear to be severe in nature at this current time either. Got a cell moving into Lenawee there, got a cell moving into Jackson, got numerous cells out there across South and East Michigan, as well as the northern part of Lower Michigan. Only that one very, very tiny tornado warning in effect now for the northern part of Ogama County. Or sorry, this is Gladwin County, isn't it? Sorry. Very far north central part of Gladwin County.
Yep.
It was for Ogama and Roscommon. Yeah, a lot of storms out there today, guys.
The rotation is still there, but it's definitely a lot more broad than it used to be, and it's starting to lose its hint of higher colors on our end of things, at least on my velocity radar. I'm not sure if you're seeing that as well, Brian.
Yeah, gate to gate, we were at like 80 miles an hour, and we're at like 30 and 20, so like 50 miles an hour now. So from what 80 was now down to about 50 or so. So it's still there. It's still there, but it's not as intense as it was. And the concern level was at like maybe like an 80 is now down to like a 20 or so. So I would expect this warning to be either canceled or dropped here at 5:45.
Also, shout out to JC with the $20 super chat saying thanks for keeping us in Gladwin County informed. No problem. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support. And this is still just in effect for northern Gladwin County, kind of heading over into the northeast corner, eventually heading into the I-75 region near M33. Again, that'll probably be close to maybe 6 or 6:15 as it slowly moves off to the northeast at about 25 miles per hour.
If you want to take your radar back, I got to do something here real quick.
Yep. So, as you can see right now, the entirety of Gladwin County has just cells galore. It's like a giant parade of cells going through the county right now. The only one that has rotation on it at the current time is the one that is tornado warned. So you can see these reds and greens are more predominant. Again, a lot more broad than it used to be. If you look at the previous scans, it is starting to kind of fade away a little bit. However, I noticed that there is a cell that is right moving across the M61 corridor heading into kind of the Bentley area. If I rock it back and forth here, you can kind of see how the rest of the storms are moving to the northeast. And this one is kind of just slowing down and moving more due east. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Usually right-moving storms, when they kind of deviate from the rest of the pack, they usually can become more strong in nature. And there's a lot of cleaner air kind of sticking around here, so it could produce a little bit more rotation in some future scans. So keep an eye on that. This entire line from Gladwin down to Beaverton and Coleman kind of has like a shear line to it, so the reds and greens are there, but they're kind of just very, very parallel and very, very weak in nature. So it could be very gusty, but right now not seeing anything again in terms of rotation. Well, again, we'll keep an eye on these storms as they continue across Gladwin County as well as northern Midland County in the minutes and hours to come. We'll be live here for a while until we believe that the threat is ended, and obviously the warnings will have to expire. We've got you covered from beginning to end. That is our motto here at Michigan Storm Chasers. We are, Ryan, I believe, coming up on our 3-year anniversary here at Michigan Storm Chasers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct. July 22nd would be our 3rd year of the page creation. We didn't officially start full-time operations until March 1st of 2023, but the page was created July 22nd.
Yeah, and tornado warning has been canceled, so now we're in special weather statement ops. So tornado warning canceled for Gladwin County. But going off of that point, again, we do this all the time here at Michigan Storm Chasers. We will go live for any severe warnings in the state, severe or tornado, and on occasion, snow squall warnings as well. So yes, we do what we are here in the winter. If you're a native Michigander, feel free to follow along. So that tornado warning, as you see on your screen, the red box is the tornado warning. That red box has disappeared. Thus, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire a couple minutes early. And by a couple, I mean literally like 3 or 4, as this is now below the point of where the rotation would meet tornado warning criteria, essentially, right on Wildwood Road along the Drummond Road area. That is actually very close to, I believe, where we had the tornado last year in Gladwin County. So it's kind of like a copy and paste there in the northern woods of Gladwin.
Pretty close.
So I remember I recognized some of these roads last year. We actually had damage on Wildwood Road last year for that tornado warned storm. As
I
it
recall that.
passed, yeah, I remember that too because we got stuck up there and I had to take that long way around. Um, I believe it's the north side of Secord Lake. So this tornado warned storm passed or has passed within a couple miles of the tornado that happened last year. Let's go ahead and zoom out on the radar once again. Go back to our base reflectivity radar, which is the intensity of the rainfall falling across the state. As you can see, essentially the entirety of the northern half of the lower peninsula is in some sort of light to moderate rain. The brighter or the hotter the colors, the heavier the rain. So if you look at, you gotta look for these reds and pinks in here, primarily across Clare, Gladwin, Iosco, and Aranet counties here in kind of north central Michigan. That's where you're gonna be the heaviest of rain, but still kind of a washout today across northern Michigan in the Grayling, Gaylord area. A lot of these areas up here in northern Michigan, as well as up towards Sheboygan and Petoskey. Also saw that line of storms with a couple special weather statements on it. These are the only alerts in the state right now for Tuscola, Lapeer, and Genesee County. These storms are also sliding off to the northeast at around 35 miles per hour. So keep an eye on these storms for y'all for a little bit. But again, tornado warning has been allowed to expire, so you are all good right now. If you are in the Lake Lancer area, specifically near Buttman, that warning has expired, as well as Edwards.
We'll stay on here for at least a few more minutes here, Joel. I don't know how long you want to stay on here or not, but we could have a few more severe storms throughout the afternoon and or evening. Although right now, taking a peek at radar, I don't see too much out there. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just watching that cluster in Gladwin County right now. Kind of in the vicinity of a tiny little bit of a low pressure. A little bit of more spin out there in the atmosphere, a little further north. And again, looking at all those cells in Gladwin County right now, there's a lot of like weak kind of speed shear, but it is kind of worth monitoring here in the next couple minutes at least. But if nothing comes of it within like the next 15 minutes, we could probably hop off for just a little bit and then pop back in for part 2 coverage as needed here at MSC.
Elsie in chat here said there's flooding going on in Genesee County. Thank you for that report. Yeah, these storms are pretty slow moving today. I know Alex was out in the Kalamazoo area earlier reporting flooding there as well. So minor flooding is definitely possible, especially in urban city areas where drainage is on the worst side of things. I feel like there's a better word to say that than what I did, but
You're going to have to repeat yourself because I didn't catch it.
I'm just not going to say it again.
Okay. Yes, everyone's in the clear for now. No more warnings in effect. If you see a tan box on your screen, that's a special weather statement. So that's a strong storm. Winds of about 40 miles per hour heading towards Lapeer and Tuscola counties the current time. The special weather statement for Bay and Midland has been canceled. So really, there's only the two currently in effect out there. Elsewhere, there are no statements or warnings in effect. We just had a tornado warning cancel about 5 minutes ago.
If you haven't already, I'm going to get a post out there.
Yep. The only thing I did was I changed the text to say expired on that tornado warning post.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect.
So yeah, radar update is perfectly fine. Feel free to cross post that as well. Again, it goes to show you, kind of similar to last year here in Michigan, on the lowest of low risk days, you can still have the funky thing happen. And again, today's odds were less than 1% for a tornado. So it's the lowest level category that you could possibly give out. And nevertheless, we had our first tornado warning in probably a couple weeks here in Michigan. I can't even remember the last time we had a tornado warning. It was
I think May 16th, the
May
last time we
16th,
had one.
yeah. So over a month and a half ago.
Hold on, my phone's being blown up. Give me a second.
All good. Current time is 5:49 p.m. in about 30 seconds. If you're watching within about 30 seconds of that time, then you are all caught up. If not, feel free to refresh your stream, get all caught up. And also, a refresh of your stream may fix the audio if you're having any audio issues on your ends. Again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzmo alongside Ryan right below me there on the screen, the top left. And again, we've been live for about 50 minutes here, covering that one tornado warning in Gladwin County, which was previously severe with top left. Here. Severe thunderstorm warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and obviously it was upgraded. But at the current time, no warnings are in effect. But there are statements out there for Lapeer and Tuscola County for 40-mile-per-hour winds. So it's like a strong thunderstorm. It's basically the level below severe. Just to show you that some gusty winds are possible. It could bring down some tree branches in that area. And you can see those cells on your screen. As I zoom in here, I'll actually change the Detroit radar real quick and zoom in. These cells are kind of rushing down the I-69 corridor and points north. Wind-wise, not too bad. Yes, you guys are clear up there in the previously tornado warned storm. So, for those who are maybe watching in West Michigan, you guys are continuing to not look out with the rain. Again, you guys need it over there, and unfortunately today all these storms that popped up were pretty much Grand Rapids and points east again. Another day where it's pretty dry out there. Obviously, there's still some showers passing through the area, but it won't be enough to kind of overturn the abnormally dry conditions. We are currently live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch, so feel free to follow us on all of those platforms if you would like. If you don't know, if you know someone that might not have a Facebook account, again, watching on YouTube, you don't need an account to do. So do highly recommend that is an option. Otherwise, Facebook is the other place that we prefer for you guys to watch. And again, as we mentioned, Twitch and X are also alternative options.
Post that update, and it's failing on my part, so let's try it again. There we go.
So, for those who are just tuning in, wondering why we're live, current reasoning for that was because we had that tornado warning in Gladwin County. Just enough shear came together for a little bit of rotation. But that tornado warning has since expired. The rotation is no longer in effect. You can see at the top of your screen the progress of that box as it happened. You can see it pop up and then pop down, and it is no longer in effect. I don't believe we have any confirmation of any touchdown yet, Ryan.
Yeah, no, not that we know of here. I'm looking at the reports page as well. A lot of shelf clouds coming in from further downstate. But really, there's nothing here that indicates we had touchdown via power outage maps or viewer reports. So I think we're obviously we can't say for sure yet, but we're leaning toward the positive side that nothing touched down here.
We have a new statement coming in.
Lockbridge, that's down by me. Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. That's going to be for the north and east part of Jackson, the very far extreme south and east corner of Ingham County. Stockbridge, Munith, and Trist areas are the only areas in that blue box there.
Yep, you're live.
Let's check out the airport radar here. We'll we have a better look on this. I mean, judging by a few things here, number one, this looks to be right around 30 to 40 miles per hour on the airport radar. But what's down here in Lenawee also appears to be a little bit higher than that, 40, 45 here, right over US 223 moving toward Onstead and Tipton. And also, I did notice up here by the Saline area, a little bit of a downburst occurring there. Is this one of our chasers? It is. Do we have Mike? Mike's in the top right there. He is just east of this downburst here, just east of Saline. I believe we have a few other chasers who are close to the storm as well, but perhaps a bit of a downburst going on there in the southern part of Washtenaw County. So numerous areas of gusty winds, but nothing as of this current moment that is severe in nature. Animating the radar here, I'll zoom out for you. These are moving pretty slow to the east, a little bit north and east at right around 30 or so miles per hour. So frequent lightning, heavy downpours, localized flooding, and then obviously the risk or a couple of risks out there for some gusty winds and perhaps some severe winds. And then if you're really lucky or unlucky, you'll get a potential rotational indication that we could have some tornadoes out there today as well. But that's a very, very low chance. And that's more so tied to the north because we have a bit better shear up there to support that extra spin out there, so to speak.
I also have your window cam live. Nice cloud structures out there.
Go peek out at it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. I'll look at it myself. Oh wow. I'm gonna take a peek at that real quick. I'll be back.
Okay. Can we get some rain in Grand Rapids? We wish we could give you some rain in Grand Rapids. It's not that easy, unfortunately. Well, I should go ahead and take a quick peek back off to the west right now since there are no warnings in effect in the state. There are some showers on Lake Michigan, but these are likely going to move too slow and they will eventually fall apart and fizzle out as they get into West Michigan. Kind of the mantra for the last couple of weeks here in West Michigan. Either storms fire east or they fire west and then they fade out before they get to West Michigan. So the bubble continues. If you're really anywhere else in the state, again, much needed rain across central Michigan, at least today, as the drought continues up there, especially in Midland and Bay counties. It does look like they're getting at least some shower action and thunderstorm action out there. But again, West Michigan, which is becoming a little more clear, or becoming more dry, I should say, continues that dryness. Am I still cutting out for those who are watching on YouTube? Am I actually still cutting out? Just let me know. Facebook, it doesn't seem to be an issue. Marion Township, I'm guessing that's Livingston County. Any chance of getting severe $2 super chat from Smith? Right now, as it stands, you do have a special weather statement there that was just issued for portions of Jackson and Ingham heading your way. It is possible, but right now the storms are below severe limits. So thank you for that super chat. If you'd also like a question answered that is critical, you feel free to drop a super chat on YouTube here. So 99% of you guys are saying the audio is good. So it sounds like it's on your end if you're still having issues. Thank you guys for letting me know. For some reason it does that. YouTube likes to glitch your device out and then you have to reload it essentially. If you don't want to give YouTube a try again, we do have 3 other platforms we are live on: YouTube, as well as Facebook, Twitch, and X, as I keep mentioning. Hopefully everyone had a great 4th of July weekend out there. It's now 6 o'clock here on this Sunday evening, July 6th, 2025. We were able to avoid severe weather all weekend up until about an hour ago when we had that tornado warning in the Gladwin County area. It was heading up into Ogama County, but then it turned a little bit more further to the right. At the current time, no warnings in effect. I'm going to go ahead and check radar back, zoom in on this storm that was previously rotating, and you can see that the reds and greens are really falling apart immensely, and we love to see it because we do not need any more tornado scares today, especially on a day where the odds were so low to get a tornado from a storm in the first place. Low, but never zero. So storm threats today were damaging winds and hail. The odds of that happening in any storm were 1 to 4%. All our maps can be found on our Facebook page, Michigan Storm Chasers. Real quick, special weather statement has been expired for Tuscola County, as it is expired at 6. But if you missed our posts earlier today on Facebook, feel free to go check them out. Again, it's basically a level 1 risk out of 6 on our scale. Same thing from the Storm Prediction Center. That tornado warning was in the general thunderstorm category, actually, from both us here at MSC and from the Storm Prediction Center. So it was just outside of that lowest zone, I guess you could say. We do have a new statement coming in for 40-mile-per-hour winds and no hail for pretty much the entirety of Washtenaw County, as well as extreme northern Lenawee County. And that storm can be kind of seen, I believe, on Ryan's cam. Top of your screen. Mike is also
Here
underneath.
in Lenawee County.
Yep. Mike is also out there. And I'm trying to find his dot. So Mike is on that cluster of cells you can see here in Washtenaw, about to enter Washtenaw County. Here very soon.
Hold your breath, Joel. I'm getting food.
He's doing it. The inside joke
I was
is
going to say, we
commencing.
could always do an impromptu weekly live stream here. We do almost every Sunday night there. But
That's true.
we can always forgo that here if we need to. Didn't plan on it anyway, but
Could do it right
we're
now.
live, so might as well do. We could.
I
It'd
don't
take me
have
a second to get everything pulled up.
No, you're good. If you want to pull up everything, you got time. I'm on one monitor today, so got a very, very nice either downburst or just a nice core of rainfall on the top right side of your screen there on Mike's cam. Go ahead and move that out of the way here.
Well, I'm going to forgo that because I think we're getting close to a few areas becoming severe, maybe.
Okay.
Looking at northeast Jackson County via the DTX radar. I mean, the DTW doesn't look half bad, but DTX says, hey, we could have something. Even Lenawee County off the airport radar looks pretty gusty there by Tipton. In fact, that says 50 miles an hour heading just into the north side of Tipton there, just north of M50. So next scan continues that as well. So between Tipton and US 12 up there, 51 miles per hour here off the airport radar, moving through the northern part of Lenawee County. Very localized pocket of that actually. Um, we'll track that here, and also the downburst continues just south of Saline and Benton areas here near Macon. My camera is back, just so you know.
Yep. I just had to take everything off because.
It's all good. I don't have to be on screen if you want me to be on screen.
Oh, sorry. Your face. I thought you were
No, you
talking
can leave me off. I don't care.
I thought you were talking about
My,
your
fa-
Skycam.
my face ain't nothing special. You can leave me off the screen.
Yep.
Next scan continues that right over Tipton Highway between US 12 and Tipton. Pocket of 45 to 50 mile per hour winds here. Even down here toward Tipton, looks like 40 to 50 miles per hour, and that's only a few hundred feet off the ground, so that's fairly close. Via the air or via the DTX radar up in the White Lake area, the northeast part of Jackson is the first thing that caught my eye, and there looks to be roughly the same 45, 50 mile per hour winds occurring near Munith, just south of Stockbridge, heading toward Unidalia and Waterloo Village along M52. That general area.
We also had that new I don't know if you saw that, but there's a new special weather station that just came in for Huron County, as well as I believe northern Tuscola and northern Sanilac.
Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour are possible with that. And looks like we have the Harbor Beach Cam on deck, perhaps with a view. Although this storm that's currently statemented looks like it's going to pass just south of the camera here. But either way, we're going to have a view on the north side of this with this part of the line further north. Going back further north, I believe Joel covered this while I was getting my food, but I believe this storm continues to look pretty weak in nature, and it does. So that's great news. No rotation up there that we see imminent for worry. I do believe the strongest right now is going to be this cell down here in Lenawee, perhaps. And looks like the cell just to my north is also increasing in velocity too. I knew I should have chased today.
Well, if there's damage, you are close by.
We'll see. That storm is actually, I'm looking at that storm on my camera, literally.
Yep.
If I take that full, I don't know if you can or not, but that's literally looking due north right at the storm. And there's your downburst that's occurring there in real time and on radar as well. So
It's pronounced Unadilla.
it's always going to be Unidalia for me. Sorry. Is it really Unadilla?
Yep. According to chat.
Well,
Summer's in here correcting us as well.
Pronunciation guide on deck. Yeah, via the airport radar, very intense, looks like rain core now moving in toward Tecumseh as well. I'm getting 60 dBZs. I'm on GR2, surprisingly, but I can also take the DTW radar here. Yeah, there you go. Pretty intense core moving into Tecumseh here. Looks like 60 dBZ here, and also at a head toward Ridgeway. This is getting awfully close to me, so I am going to pop outside as soon as I confirm what Unidalia or Unadilla is pronounced. It is Unadilla. Okay. All right, Summer, I see you. I'll be back.
Okay. Is there any carnivals going on today? Maybe that's where he's going. Inside joke from the other day. We hear watching the carnival in Manistee on our camera. Quick recap is we had a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning. And they're both for Gladwin County. They have expired. They've been expired for about 20-ish minutes now. You can see them as they progress on the top of your screen up there, very top of the screen north of Gladwin near Buttman and Edwards. Again, that storm is now pretty much moving into Aranet County and not showing any signs of rotation anymore at the current time. Obviously, we're going to be still watching it. But the strongest of the winds... Excuse me. Strongest of the winds in Jackson and Ingham County, as well as Lenawee. And we also have a couple special weather statements that just popped in for portions of the Thumb, which include Tuscola, Sanilac, and Huron County. So if you have any damage, we're specifically looking for damage in northern Gladwin County, really anywhere, but specifically Lake Lancer, as well as Buttman, kind of that general vicinity there within about 5 miles, kind of the south side of Buttman and pretty much directly over Lake Lancer. Also west of Lake Lancer as well as kind of where that rotation starts to pick up. Very, very close kind of to the Clare, Gladwin County line. If you have any damage in the area, feel free to send it in to us. We are looking for it. Also, any maybe tornado videos that you guys have, feel free to also send them in to us. You can do so by just sending it to us via direct message. Again, use only Messenger for sending in damage reports or business inquiries, of course. Otherwise, we do have a Facebook group called Michigan Weather Reports, and that is there for you guys to send in any damage in terms of hail, tornado, damaging winds. Make sure you are specific with your location and time, otherwise we won't know where it's at, obviously. And that will obviously save us the extra step. If you have any fair weather reports, just like cool cloud photos, downbursts, stuff like that, feel free to send them in our Michigan Storm Community group. That's kind of more for our fair weather stuff that's ongoing. So again, Michigan weather reports or our messenger for any damage reports that you see out there, as well as perhaps tornado videos. Also, you can join our Discord channel. We have a Discord server, I should say. Once you join it, there is a channel inside that server for sending in your damage reports. So keep that in mind. It is there for you guys. There's a bunch of different tools you can reach out to us at. Otherwise, if you're missing any links for us here at Michigan Storm Chasers, we do have a link tree. I believe it's linktr.ee/Michigan Storm Chasers, MI Storm Chasers. Our mods will link it in our YouTube chat here. If you want to find any of our links for Michigan Storm Chasers related stuff, things that we've been repeating here.
Well, we do have a report coming out via emergency management in Gladwin County near Hockaday.
Okay.
Multiple trees are down on power lines near the intersection of Hockaday Road and Armchester Drive, relayed by emergency management in Gladwin County.
Okay. So at the very least, it sounds like we had perhaps some straight line wind damage. It won't be confirmed tornado damage until probably tomorrow, I would imagine. Again, it's a little late in the day to kind of be out surveying. I do believe that report actually just came in on the radar here. Indeed it did. So if there's going to be a survey, we'll likely have a preliminary result sometime tomorrow morning. Yeah, there is, it said Hockaday and Sugar River.
That'd be correct.
Armchester, sorry. That would be, yeah, it's going to be Sugar River Road at Hockaday. So that is basically Lake Lancer there. Again, that was right where that rotation was the tightest. So it looks like, at the very least, we had some straight line wind damage in the Lake Lancer community, which again is very, very, it is actually right about where that tornado went through last year. Again, the south side of, it was the south side of Lake Lancer last year. Now it appears it was the north side of Lake Lancer. So again, if you have any damage reports really here along the M30 region, kind of the west of M30 or along M30 here in northern Gladwin County, as well as over to Lake Lancer, south of Buttman, feel free to send those in to us. We are looking for those damage reports, any sort of tornado videos as well, so that way we can relay it to the National Weather Service up there in Gaylord, and that they can make these LSRs, as they're called, live storm reports, and put it in their database. And obviously they'll come out and survey as well.
Like the Clinton and Lenawee County area is getting walloped by 50 to 55 mile per hour winds now. Latest scan on the airport radar, right around 50 actually. I thought there was a pocket of 52 in there, but it looks like 49 and some change. Moving into the Clinton area, right on US 12 there, on the Washtenaw-Lenawee County line. And the radar beam at this height is only 400 feet.
I believe we also have a new statement coming in, Ryan, I think for Livingston.
Livingston County, yep. Take a peek at that here in just a second. Nothing on the screen yet. There it is, though. Brighton, Howell, Heartland Township, looks like Hamburg as well. Genoa, 40 mile per hour winds, and that's it. So with this cells moves through, looks like Unadilla also has that pocket of 45 or so mile per hour winds as that pushes toward Hamburg and eventually potentially toward Brighton and Howell as well. Or sorry, not Howell. Howell would be, well, it's in the statement, but this area of winds are going to be well south of Howell. But still, it has some gusty winds possible.
Another new special weather statement coming in. This one's going to be for Lapeer County.
Nothing yet. I'm gonna probably guess winds for 40 or so, and that's probably it.
Yep. Pretty much all of central Lapeer. Includes Lapeer, Lum, Imlay City, etc. There it is on your screen.
It's going to be for winds in excess of 40, and that is the only hazard. I'm going to peek out the window again. I'll be right back.
Okay. And Ryan's cam is up there in the top. Go ahead and pull his cam live. That is a live view of one of our statemented storms out there. That is northern Lenawee County heading into Washtenaw. And again, these storms are moving rather slowly today, about 30 to 35 in the southern portions of the state. A little bit slower if you're up near the vicinity of the low. Go ahead and take our radar back. Go down to our radar in Detroit. You can see all the boxes popping in now. Every single tan box on your screen is a special weather statement. Again, special weather statements are basically a step below severe, so it's strong winds, but not severe winds. Kind of think of them as a strong garden variety storm. And that is what we're seeing out there so far today, minus that one tornado warning we had up in the Buttman area. Go ahead and flip over to our base velocity, kind of check out some of the winds around the area. Again, the core right now for this storm in Livingston County, which is Scott statemented, passing over Graves Road, heading kind of right down the M36 corridor, if you want to think of it that way. So Pinckney, Charleston up next. We go ahead and move down into the Clinton area. That is where the strongest of the winds are right now, directly over Clinton and Manchester. Mainly Clinton, I believe, at the current time, as well as kind of button out near Tecumseh. And those will continue up towards Bridgewater and Saline eventually in the coming half hour. Go a little bit further to the north. I will say this before we go further north. The statement here for Jackson and Ingham on the extreme southeast and northeast side of these counties, the storm is pretty much outside of it now, so that statement will be good to go. Again, that expires at 6:30, but that storm will be out here within the next probably minute or two. Wind-wise for Lapeer County, it isn't lining up too well. We're going to wait for an update here from our velocity product because these scans right now are actually 5 minutes apart. Let's get a new scan here in just a second.
I think we lost our airport radar as well because it hasn't updated in about 10 or 7 minutes.
Gotcha. Yeah, the strongest.
Last scan I have. Go ahead.
I was say strongest of the winds right now, kind of on I-69, just to the east of the Lapeer exit. Also traveling straight down Peppermill Road and the old 20 or Imlay City Road, old 21, heading towards Imlay City. It's also kind of gusting out ahead of the line of storms to the northeast of Lapeer, heading towards Lump. Statement continues also up here for Deckerville, Minden City, Ubli. As this strongest of the winds right now, if anything, are going to be on Ubli Road, along kind of up and down, north and south from Ubli down to Sandusky. Still have a nice hefty shower moving through the Aranet County region. Still, again, moving very, very slow off to the east. It looks like, I don't know if that's true or not, but it looks like we still have some southeastward propagation here on this cell. We'll see what the loop from the Gaylord, the radar, looks like here real quick. We do. We do have some south propagation there with this cell, and that would mean... You know what's funny, Ryan, is this is actually part of that storm that was tornado warned. The same cell. Turned straight south.
Let's not jinx it.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that. Again, nothing concerning right now, but we'll notice there's a little bit of a southward shift kind of within this line. So there's some sort of little tiny bit of a rear inflow jet in the lower levels of the atmosphere, or I guess I should say the mid levels, that is pushing some of the storm motion a little bit further south towards Standish. No rotation at the current time, but it is showing some deviant motion in here, and it could lead to some funky things happening, kind of what we saw with the tornado warning in Gladwin County here an hour ago.
My camera frozen by chance? I think it
camera?
might be. Yeah, I think it is actually frozen.
Your outside camera?
Yeah.
Might have to reload it. Thank you for the kind words, everyone. Appreciate y'all. Seeing you all in chat here. Mike's got a nice base on his cell right now. Where's Mike at? Take a look. I know he's been hanging out in southeast Michigan. See if I can go find his dot. Not seeing it. Oh, I am seeing it. He hasn't updated it though, but he appears to be on that storm that is statemented heading into southern Washtenaw.
Also, radar updated from the airport. Looks like a pocket of gusty winds right now, 50 miles per hour continues just north of Macon. In fact, the latest scan continues 52 miles per hour now. on the Lenawee and Washtenaw County line heading up toward Moorville.
Yeah, no severe warnings right now. Everyone is doing nice and dandy. I'm gonna hopefully keep it that way. So we hang out here just around the closing on the 6:30 hour on this Sunday, July 6th. Mike currently is, I believe, in the Ann Arbor area, or at least on the cell somewhere in southern Washtenaw County. His location hasn't updated in a little bit. I have
I
not gotten enough.
believe I know where that's at. I might have to double check on that though.
Okay, I don't know if you want to reach out to him in our CPN board, but yeah, I know he's down there
He's
somewhere.
actually behind the scenes here with us in Discord. Mike, if
Oh,
you can hear us, let us know where you're at.
yeah. He is muted.
He got it. Saline Township, US 12.
Got it.
Thank you, Mike. So this is going to be pretty much where the gustiest winds are currently heading into. Looks like, okay, Dot is updated for me now. He looks like he's just west of Saline near Benton. Moorville, York Charter Township, and perhaps Milan in that general area looks to have the gustiest winds right now moving in. Little pockets of 45 to 50 mile per hour winds. Looks like that's going to be moving into the area there.
So center your screen there, center right side is basically the downdraft itself. All that rain's getting washed out ahead of it, or inside of it. The darker clouds out ahead of it is your higher moisture content. Again, the darker the clouds, the more moisture that's being pooled and condensed up there in these clouds. So keep that in mind. Again, where you see the center of your screen, again, it's a little bit brighter there because the sun's able to kind of shine through the tops of the clouds more, and allowing for more brighter skies. And you can also see those rain curtains as they fall down. And you can see it right there to the right of the telephone pole, a nice little rain band shooting out, down, and in front of the storm as well. Again, these downbursts are possible all day today, through the evening hours here, through about 10 o'clock tonight, especially as they head over into the thumb. These downbursts will produce winds of about 40, maybe even upwards of 50 miles per hour. We just had a nice cloud to ground bolt there in the center of your screen, just to the right of the telephone pole there. If you go back and rewind the stream a couple seconds there, you'll see it. But a very good shot there as the storm continues to roll down the US 12 corridor.
My camera just updated as well, so.
Perfect. I see that.
Strongest winds down here in Washtenaw County appear to be over Arcona Road, moving just to the just north of the county line, going to hit Ridge Road as well as Moorville Road. Moorville looks like they're on deck here for some pretty gusty winds according to the radar here. Still a pocket of 50 to 52 mile per hour winds ongoing here. It's going to split Moorville and Milan appears. Perhaps some gusty winds continuing there by Chilson, heading in toward the Brighton area. I'm not sure if you cover this, Joel. I apologize if I'm repeating you.
Mm-hmm.
Up here in Lapeer County, looks like a pocket of heavier winds there just south of North Branch.
Mm-hmm.
Over Five Lakes and Kings Mill, moving toward Burnside and Sharpsville. Also a little bit of a bow echo there. Perhaps some broad rotation just to the west of Bay City. See that?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, given that it is in the same sort of location as our stronger shear today, in the vicinity of that low. And again, with that, we're also watching that little cluster to the north as well. That was previously tornado warned for Gladwin counties. That cell continues to kind of do a little bit of deviant motion on it. Proper.
I'm gonna switch my camera over here to the weather cameras here.
Gotcha.
So you can lose my radar for a minute.
Yep.
A couple of the cameras are gonna have some good views here pretty soon. Lake Orion and Harbor Beach being a couple of those. Perhaps even Dearborn here momentarily. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That's better.
There you go.
Latest scan actually is a little more concerning as the winds increase into Moorville. It looks like a wider pocket of 45 to 52 miles per hour. We're getting close to the airport radar here too. So this is actually about 150 feet off of the ground here. How do you have the velocity off the airport radar? I don't have that on mine.
You don't?
I don't. I only have is the Doppler radar reflectivity.
I have it on
I don't have anything
GR2.
else. Huh. So Moorville right now has a nice pocket of 50 to 52 mile per hour winds directly over town. It's a small town. This is my local area here, so I'm very, very familiar with this. It's going to move very close here to Willow Road as it moves toward US 23, just north of Milan. It's going to probably split Willow and Willis Road here if it continues. So if you guys have any reports of tree damage in this area, it's a very tree-lined area in this vicinity, let us know. Also keeping a close eye up here in Livingston County at the storm over Genoa, moving in toward Brighton. The radar up in Detroit indicating some gusty winds here, also increasing as it moves into Brighton. Nice pocket here of 50 mile per hour winds. That's worth checking out as well. So Brighton, this area was just hit a few days ago as well with some winds that took out a couple docks on a lake and knocked power out to about 1,000 people in the area. Take note as well up here in Lapeer County. Nice pocket up here now of gusty winds in the Kings Mill area heading toward Burnside and Goodland still. So 3 pockets of gusty winds here occurring. There are currently no warnings in effect, but some of these storms are getting close to that criteria. Wouldn't be shocked to see one issued here momentarily for one of these cells.
I have my cam on, but I've been kind of following what you've been saying.
Yeah, I realized that halfway through, and I looked up and you were following me, so I was like, Jules got it.
Yep. It's okay. Yeah, so pocket 1, Brighton, pocket 2, between Saline and Milan, and pocket 3, just to the north of Lum, heading up towards Brown City, which is on the border of Lapeer and Sanilac County. So I would not be surprised if we see a couple severe thunderstorm warnings pop in soon. Before that happens, though, I saw there was a couple super chats in here. I'll go back and read those off real quick. There's 2 of them. We got Smith with a $2 super chat. Another Nothing Burger in Marion Township. Thumbs up emoji. Thank you for that super chat. Sorry to hear about the lack of rain. Hopefully you get some soon. If that's what you're looking for. Or if you're looking for storms, that too. Fun times with a $10 super chat. Stay safe, everyone who's been impacted by the storms. Thanks to Michigan Storm Chasers for the excellent coverage, as always, and thank you to the mods, chasers, and the whole team involved with this. Also, subscribe, y'all. Thank you very much. Fun times for your support, and you heard fun times best. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you're watching here on YouTube. If you're watching on any of the other platforms, it's the follow button. But yes, if you're watching on YouTube, all you need is an account. You can subscribe for free. And again, we are closing in on 60K here on YouTube, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, and then I'll probably dance at some point. So there you go. Incentive. Also have Brittany with a $2.99 super chat or super sticker. Thank you all very much for your support. Looking on our kind of zoomed out radar, just gonna zoom out for y'all here and just see what's going on. Again, West Michigan right now. Not a whole lot going on. You guys need the rain. I see there's a .88 inch report of rainfall that came in from the Whitehall area, I believe, or Montague, there on the border of Oceana and Muskegon County. However, West Michigan overall today missed out on much of the rain. Uh, some flooding happened in Kalamazoo. Otherwise, most of the rain you can see on the radar right now is on the east side of the state, as well as up in northern lower Michigan. So Gaylord, Grayling, Traverse City, Petoskey, although that is starting to move out of the northwest side of Lower Peninsula. And anywhere where you see these brighter reds on radar is your stronger cells in terms of heavier rainfall and perhaps even some small hail. And again, inside of these stronger cells, where we would look for damaging winds, downbursts, and again, more also pea-sized hail. So the reds is the heavy rain.
One power outage in the area of Lake Lancer that has shown up on the Consumers Energy Outage map. Less than 20 customers affected. It's going to be on Dutcher Road, just east of Lake Lancer. That is the only outage I see in the area.
I see a comment in chat about the mugginess. So as this front passes through, eventually the mugginess will start to taper off. It will only be temporary though, as most of the week, I believe, ahead will still have dews at least in the low 60s. So it'll be slightly uncomfortable, but at least nothing like basking in Verner's type of humidity like we put on our meter on Friday, I believe it was.
Pocket of gusty winds further south in Washtenaw County is now moving up Stony Creek Road. Still a nice pocket of 50-mile-per-hour winds there. The statement is for 40-mile-per-hour winds, and there's been 50 here for a good 10 or so plus minutes. Up here in the Brighton area, looks like that continues to be a nice pocket moving into Brighton Township, just north of I-96, crossing US 23 right now.
Statement.
I wouldn't be shocked if they warned that.
Statement coming in for that.
40. Interesting. Pocket here on radar is well above 40. We're looking at 46 to 50 or so mile per hour winds here. But we're still probably about 1,000 feet or less under the radar here. I'm not sure if you have a beam height there, Joel.
Yeah, that's going to be about 750 feet off the ground.
That's pretty close to the ground, so I wouldn't be shocked if they warned that, honestly. Looks like that's a nice pocket of gusty winds there. Also surprised up there in Lapeer near Burnside is still going as well. That's another pocket to watch. Some gusty winds just south of Burnside, heading up toward Brown City and Goodland area, crossing M53 right now, heading toward Valley Center, Omard, Peck, and Speaker. I think of these three pockets, I do believe I'm going to call it the Brighton Township area is the most intense currently. That's a pretty wide pocket of 50 to 52 now.
Mm-hmm. Right on US 23 too.
Yeah, I'm going to pop open DTE and see if I can get any outages coming in from that. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Nothing yet. I'll keep it up here and update it. I know DTE could be delayed a few minutes, so we'll leave it up. Yeah, nice pocket still continuing over Stony Creek Road, now crossing US 23. And that's heading in toward Lincoln. I know the schools are there, Lincoln Consolidated Schools, Augusta Charter Township, Willis, along Willis Road. It's going to be traveling between Willow and Willis.
Do you want to take your radar back?
My radar is currently displaying as the cameras.
Yes. I didn't know if that's when you were speaking about.
I mean, I can. I don't have to, but I can.
Okay. No worries if not.
Might as well. If anything happens with the cameras, I'll just pull it up real quick.
Okay.
So there's your pocket of gusty winds here crossing US 23 at Stony Creek Road. It's moving up toward Lincoln, Augusta Charter Township, as well as Willis and Stony Creek areas. Pocket number 2 up here in Brighton. This is going to be crossing US 23 as we speak. Moving into Oakland County momentarily, still on the border here, Livingston. A nice pocket here, 50 to 52 in some spots, crossing 23 as we speak. And as we move further north, Lapeer continues to be a nice pocket of 45-ish miles per hour just south of Burnside, heading in toward Brown City, Melvin, and Speaker areas. So again, 3 areas continue to look impressive via velocity, just below severe limits or just at severe limits. I know Mike is in this general area. I believe he's just north of, actually just behind the gusty winds here. Mike, if you can hear us, I'm sure you can. Let us know if you see any damage here, either in chat or if you want to pop on and talk, you're welcome to. But he's in the area, can be following close behind where these winds are currently moving through. So if there's any damage via trees or power lines, Mike will be on it here.
I do have his audio source linked in so we can hear it now. If he uses VDO, so if he wants to unmute on that, we would be able to hear him. I'm actually going to go ahead and look into our Michigan weather reports. I don't see anything new. I'm guessing you've been looking at that?
Yeah, I have been.
Okay. Perfect.
Looks like our Burton camera's back up and online, rocking and rolling. That's great news. I'm still impressed by this pocket here of gusty winds in Washtenaw County. Not be so shocked if Mike grows into some damage here via trees. I don't see any outages coming in though, which is good news.
Gotcha. He says
My
he has.
velocity is not updating. Do you want to take yours back?
Okay. Mike says he has light tree damage on his cam. Or he did. But past it.
Yeah, he's going into the path of that. So latest scan for Brighton does weaken it down about 40 to 45 now on the east side of US 23.
Yeah, no warnings in effect right now. For those who are just tuning in, there are just a couple special weather statements out there, which are strong storms but not severe. Go ahead and go to the airport radar if I can find it here. There it is. Yeah, so Stony Creek, Whitaker, just some gusty winds ongoing there. You can see the very bright greens. And turning into blues. That is 50-mile-per-hour winds at about 100 to 200 feet off the ground, so it's pretty close to the ground. Go over to the DTX radar. And you can see exactly that. As this wind gets a little bit closer to the radar site here, it's actually starting to go down a little bit. So this wind is just elevated off the ground a couple hundred feet, but it doesn't appear it's mixing down to the ground all the way. But Milford, you still want to be watching out for 40-mile-per-hour winds, as that is what the statement is in effect for, eventually heading up towards the village of Clarkston and Pontiac as it crosses Oakland County. Also
We're gonna have a view
have...
on that via Lake Orion camera here soon.
Okay. We also have that gusty wind going into Brown City right now. Might have a statement coming soon, probably for southern Sanilac County. At this current time, it is only for Lapeer. And then the statement continues for northern Sanilac, southern Huron County for 40-mile-per-hour winds in the Deckerville and Minton City area.
Check out that cell by Bay City on the DTX radar.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I see Brandon's
Catch
out
my
there,
eye
so I'm
here
going to
through
try
the
and bring his
grass.
camera in. Okay, he's not
Yeah,
live.
it's like I've been keeping a close eye on that. It's not very intense by any means, but definitely further south. Further south. That one right there.
Mm-hmm.
New statement coming in now for Wayne and Washtenaw County.
I'm taking yours back.
Okay. This would be heading toward our Dearborn camera. And still a very nice pocket here. This is old. This is 6 minutes old.
Go
Wait
ahead.
for the box to pop in. There it is. It's going to be for wind gusts of 40 miles per hour or greater. The only area of interest within this polygon that I see would be down here. This is, again, 6 minutes old. Pocket of 45 to 50 mile per hour winds just south of Stony Creek. Is that a new statement for Lenawee?
Yes, we also have one for Washtenaw and Wayne.
Why is Lenawee getting statemented? There's nothing in here.
It's the one in southern Lenawee.
There's nothing in southern Lenawee.
It's for southeastern Lenawee County. Storms moving in from Ohio.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, I would like to take your attention up to the Skidway Lake area off the Gaylord radar. There is some very broad rotation ongoing right now in Aranac County, so near Twinning, Turner, Omer. At the current time, there doesn't appear that there's anything on the ground right now, but that is starting to become more broad rotation. Still it's actually very, very broad, but it is picking up more of its reds and greens.
I'm going to flip my camera back over to Lake Orion as this line approaches.
Okay. So at the current time, it still appears that there's just enough shear in the atmosphere where there could be some damaging winds and perhaps a little bit of rotation ongoing in the Tri-Cities region, primarily Bay City and points north up towards Standish, Aranac County. So we're going to keep an eye on that. A bunch of different cells in this area. Otherwise, we have a boatload of different special weather statements coming in now for portions of southern Michigan.
One for southeastern Lenawee is going to be for 40 mile per hour winds. Looks like all of these are being just kind of blanketed as 40 mile per hour winds that are possible with these storms. Looking at the latest couple scans as well, I think the Brighton area is the one that concerns me the most moving into Oakland County. But even that's still below severe currently. Wouldn't be shocked if they also statement this one out ahead. If you go into Macomb County, the one if you go into Macomb County, just east of pocket, looks like 30 to 40 on radar being picked up there in Shelby Charter Township near Utica.
Had a little bit of a stream kaputzi a little quick.
Happened?
I just lost like my Wi-Fi for a brief second. It should
Uh-oh.
still be live on Facebook. If not, it says it's sending data right now. Looks like we're good. Wi-Fi, I think, just cut out for a second, but we're back. Let us know if you can hear me. But I see that cell you were talking about, Ryan.
Home
Yeah.
County.
Macomb, a tiny little cell popping up.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the latest scan also increased velocity to about 50 miles per hour, 45 to 50 now, just north of Shelby Charter Township. So that's going to be one to watch as well. But for the most part, these storms have stayed sub-severe, meaning that they've gotten close, but just not quite getting to severe criteria, which is 58 mile per hour winds or greater. So we could get close today, but it looks like we're going to stay at or just below for most of these storms. Not going to rule it out completely. We can't do that, but from what it looks like, at least, we're trending in the right direction. Also, got a couple cool cloud features moving into the Lake Orion camera. If you want to take that occasionally or put it in the bottom left, you're welcome to do that too.
Yep. Mike's down to a crawl. What's he got there in cam? Looks like some branches in the road, very small.
Is it bad? I know exactly where he's at just by looking at it.
Only because you live down there.
He's in my backyard. Stop in and say hi, Mike.
Go back up to this cell. If anything, it just looks gusty, but there's no statements on it for Aranet County. And again, this is also still about 5,600 feet off the ground. There's no radar that's closer. It's kind of in its own radar hole right now, so it does look impressive in the upper levels, but it's tough to tell what's actually happening down near the ground. So if you are living in Aranet County and have something to report to us right now, feel free to do that. But right now, it does appear that the rotation is rather weak and not worth really mentioning, other than it's there, but it's just elevated. Again, there's a lot of different storms going on, so I do apologize for all the zooming up and down the line. But again, that's kind of the state of today. Numerous showers and thunderstorms everywhere. As it stands right now, moving into the Thumb and southeast Michigan. These storms are heading into Detroit, specifically this one that has some gusty winds, heading into Romulus, Belleville right now. Again, these will be heading towards Detroit by around 8 o'clock. And these are moving rather slow, about 35 miles per hour.
Hey, Joel, I want to take a second real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead and take the Storm Guard camera. I want to take this for a teaching moment real quick. So you guys see this on your screen currently. If you look at it at a first glance, it looks like kind of like a funnel cloud where it's just kind of hanging down from the ground. But in reality, you're actually looking parallel with this storm cloud. It's like an outflow push, like a shelf cloud that's moving, in this case, from the right side of your screen to the left side of your screen. So it's not hanging down like a funnel cloud would. You're looking parallel with a cloud deck that's going away from you. That makes sense. So some pictures look deceiving. This would be one of those cases. We get a lot of pictures like this. Hey, this is a funnel cloud, and reality is, hey, no, it's not. It's like underneath of a shelf cloud that's kind of running away from you. So it's hard to explain, but hopefully that made sense.
Meteorology's cool. That's a good response to anything when we're trying to explain it. Fluid dynamics is just a wild mystery sometimes, but again, we know what some of these clouds are doing, and we're able to, let you know what's exactly happening and whether or not it's dangerous. And this cloud, again, not harmful by any means. And obviously, it is also
Yes.
very, very cool looking, but it can be denoted as a SLC, or scary looking cloud.
Yes. As it moves away to the left side of your screen here, you can start to see you're actually looking at a long cloud, not one dangling down from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
As always, thank you to StormGuard in Lake Orion for putting up this camera for us, sponsoring this camera. If you would like to sponsor a camera yourself, feel free to get in touch with us. We are still on the hunt for camera sponsors. In fact, we actually have camera number 10 going in tomorrow. So stay tuned on a location for that.
Indeed.
We have a couple more on standby as well. So we have at least 4, I believe, currently 4 or 5 confirmed cameras that are still to come.
Put it back in the corner. Unless people would rather see the cloud, then I'll change it back to full screen.
Let's cycle through this real quick.
But the radar update would help. I know a lot of people being impacted by just some normal thunderstorms right now, with winds up to 40. So you could say a little bit abnormal thunderstorms, a little bit stronger. Again, 40-mile-per-hour winds will bring down a couple branches, perhaps an isolated power pole or two. You don't want to really be driving out or near any trees in these gusty or thunderstorms. They can produce just as much damage and threat to life as like a normal tornado would. Again, trees falling in any sort of nature, it's all wind at the end of the day. So whether or not it is a tornado warning, special weather statement, severe thunderstorm warning, wind is wind, and you do want to be inside, away from just exterior walls that might have trees that could fall into them. And that is your safe bet. If you are taking shelter very seriously, of course, you want to protect your head. Blunt force trauma is a huge thing when it comes to severe weather injuries. Protecting your head is the most important thing. Kind of remember, for those who went to school, if you guys remember huddling in the hallways growing up, they'd always have you protect your head, and that is the main reason why, is because your head is the most valuable part of your body, and it's also very soft on top as well, and you do want to protect your head from any of those hard blows, such as like falling debris.
It may be a good time here to look into doing the weekly stream since we're already on here live.
If you want to queue it up. I don't think we'll get anything severe.
I can certainly attempt. So we'll do a brief speed run through the week ahead.
I'll take your cam off while you get that set up if you want to.
Yes, please. I'll pop in the background here. So
Okay.
I'll see you guys in like 5 minutes or less.
I think it's getting that set up. Again, showers and thunderstorms continue across the east side of the state only. They do extend all the way back towards the I-69 corridor south of Marshall. Very light in nature, though, at this current time. Strongest of storms. long weekend. Strongest of storms. First one down here at the southern border of Ohio, Michigan, near Morenci. This is starting to creep into Lenawee County. We see this tan special weather statement in effect. This is for winds of up to 40 miles per hour.
Joel,
Yes.
we have outages coming in now in Stony Creek, near Willis Road, just so you know.
Stony Creek. Where's that at?
The one that was going through like the Saline to Willis area, Washington County. That
Got
way.
it. Let's take a look at the airport radar. Don't really see anything that's screaming at me here on velocity. But that would be
Probably
heading...
delayed about 15 minutes from when it actually happened.
Yeah. That would be heading into Belleville probably shortly. So yeah, if it is a delayed report, that makes sense. It does appear there's a tiny little bit of downburst still ongoing just outside of Belleville. Again, winds of 40 are still possible. And again, bringing down trees and power lines, even if the winds are 40, continues to be a possibility. We also have this storm moving through the radar site here in central Oakland County. Winds in this general vicinity also looking to be around 40 miles per hour, about 250 feet off the ground. So that's about around the special weather statement criteria that you have on the screen. The statements up here in the thumb have all been canceled, so at the current time there's only 3 in effect. Lenawee, eastern Washtenaw into western Wayne, and then west central Oakland County. Again, all denoted by these tan boxes on the screen. If you know you live in any of these boxes, you are in a special weather statement. You'll notice that these are partial counties, of course. So sometimes you'll be like, well, hey, there's a special weather statement for Oakland County, but why didn't it get an alert? It's likely because you are not inside the box itself. Again, nowadays, it's changed. Obviously, they changed it about, I think it was about 20 years ago. They changed it from county-based warnings to polygon-based warnings. So they're able to write polygons that cross, county lines, and they don't have to take up the entire county. So, if the storm's on one side of the county, you can just have the warning box there on that side of the county, or the statement box in this case. So fun fact about that, if you're kind of curious as to why you're not getting alerts for some of these storms, that is why. Again, we still have that cell that's popping up in Macomb County, not Washtenaw. There's that cell back there in Washtenaw County. But there is one tiny pixel of about 55 mile per hour winds on 26 Mile Road at Romeo Plank Road. And that pixel is about 1,500 feet off the ground. So we don't know what's happening below it. But it does show that there is at least some increased velocities here that would be heading, as it stands, over towards New Haven and Richmond in far eastern Macomb County. So that is that cell right here, north of Mount Clemens and Shelby. And that will continue off to the east. So for those who are just tuning in, again, no warnings in effect, but we are going to be doing some sort of like a little bit of a Sunday night weekly, kind of an abridged version here in just a second. So Ryan's getting set up right now. Kind of why it's a little quiet out there in the background, but he is getting set up for this weekly at the current time. Otherwise, we're just watching showers and storms across the state with some winds up to 40 miles per hour. Checking back in our storm that was showing some weak rotation here across Arnett County. That is continuing towards All Gray. North side of US 23 here. It's kind of traveling right down Bessinger Road. About to cross over Shenfield Road. Kind of where these reds and greens are. Again, very, very weak. And it's also 6,000 feet off the ground. So we don't know what's happening below that level in the atmosphere. So again, as we mentioned, if you live away from these radar sites, feel free to let us know what you're seeing. And if it's worth mentioning here in stream. And we do have some images of flooding from earlier today, as well as some cool clouds. Those can be found on our Facebook page as well as our X page. Again, we're on like 8 different social media sites, so if you want to follow us on any of them, so YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, and I'm missing one more. Twitch. All of our usernames are pretty much at MI Storm Chasers on all of them. Otherwise, you can search Michigan Storm Chasers on Facebook, and you can find some of our storm photos that we've shared to you guys over the course of today from some of our chasers out there and some of our staff members. Again, flooding in Kalamazoo. We had a wall cloud earlier this afternoon before we went live for severe in the, I believe it was Midland County region. No, sorry, it was Northern Bay County near Mount Forest. And again, that was about an hour or two before we actually got a tornado warning storm in Gladwin County. So it just goes to show you that there was a nice isolated pocket, some surface vorticity, a little bit of shear out there in the atmosphere today. Enough shear to get to the point where we did see some brief weak rotation and some damage from a tornado warning storm. So we will have to see if the National Weather Service and Gaylord does go out and survey to see if there was an actual tornado in that portion of the state. If so, I believe that would be tornado number 30 of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, if you're still listening.
That was correct.
Okay. So we're at 29 right now. Our 29th was, I believe our most recent one was in Macomb County. That was the, what was the name of the city? Fraser. The Fraser tornado. So that's a couple weeks ago down there in Macomb County. So if we get one confirmed from Gladwin County, that would be number 30 on the year, which would be 9 shy of the record in a year, which the records go back to 1950. And that record was set in 74, I believe.
Go ahead and speed run through this if you don't mind.
Okay, I will take you ready whenever you're ready, and your cam's off right now, by the way.
I'm not ready.
He's not ready.
We'll just go ahead and speed run through this. I can go ahead and just get this over with.
Okay. Real quick though, thank you. Oh, it's us. I was gonna say we gifted. Thank you to ourselves, I guess. Thank you, or for those who are subscribed on YouTube, check your account. We just actually gave away 5 gifted memberships of our own to our lovely YouTube subscribers. So feel free to check your account. And those again are on us and last 30 days. So if you want to re-up it after 30 days, it is on you to do so. Otherwise, it'll just automatically cancel. So that, again, is a way of saying thanks for watching on YouTube today specifically and subscribing. And we are able to do that a couple times a month. I think 10 a month, I believe, is what it is. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started with a little bit of a Sunday Night Weekly here as it's 7:06 on this Sunday evening. Ryan, feel free to take it away whenever you are ready.
All right, so quick version tonight because we're in kind of severe ops, kind of not really. But upcoming week after this week is going to be a little bit more pleasant in nature. Temperature forecast around the state here. This is south central Michigan. We're going to notice low to mid 80s throughout pretty much the entire week here. 78 for a high tomorrow in Lansing, and this map is for Lansing, just FYI. And then after Monday, we are in the low 80s for next 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, low 80s, 83 to be exact. And then toward the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're in the upper 80s according to the European model here. Going further north here, let's go up to the UP, Chippewa County. A little bit less than 80s. We're looking at roughly low to mid 70s, and then toward the weekend, upper 70s, perhaps low 80s up there. So a very pleasant temperature week. It's not going to be hot, not going to be unbearable out there, but it is going to lost train of thought there. It's not going to be as hot as the past couple of days, past couple of weeks here. Going into the precipitation as well, we get past today, perhaps a storm chance tomorrow. In fact, the SPC does have storm chances for the Monday time period for the UP and also the very far southeast corner of the state here. No severe expected, though. On Tuesday, perhaps a pop-up storm up there in the UP and for the northern and western part of lower Michigan. But after we get through the first couple of days here, a drier pattern is shaping up here. And we're going to see that on the model here as we get toward that late week time frame. the anomaly here, which is the average, turns to below average here for Michigan. We've been looking at the above average or near normal for a while, and now we're trending below average. So the majority of the week for the majority of us will be pretty much dry in nature. We can't rule out a pop-up storm, in some sections of the state, but nothing major organized is expected in terms of storm systems. They're not looking at anything derecho or tornado outbreak type of situations. No, we're not seeing any of that right now for the upcoming week. Excuse me. A nice, pleasant week is expected. Again, 80s, and that's about it. There's not much else to talk about. So I will say toward the Friday time period, we start climbing up toward the 90-degree mark further south. I would expect there to be an increased chance for some pop-up storms further south along Lake Breeze boundary, stuff like that. I can't really rule that out, but overall, I would expect this to be a drier week than what we're kind of been used to, but also less humid in nature as well. Looking at the dew points, looking right at 60s or so, and then potentially getting close to the 70s toward the weekend time frame. But as of right now, that's pretty low confidence. So a pleasanter week upcoming. Looking at the future forecasts here from the CPC, looking at above average temperature contours for both the 6 to 10 day, as well as the 8 to 14 day, as well as the 3 to 4 week time period. So we're going to lean toward that near average to above average temperatures. And then as far as precipitation goes, we're going to stay in the above average precipitation here for the next 7 days or so. But then as we get toward the mid-month to late-month time frame, we now turn to below average. We're kind of seeing that trend in the models as well. And then 3 to 4 week period, we're near normal for equal chances for both below or above average precipitation. So putting it all together, we still have droughts out there, especially along the Tri-City areas, but it's expanded now further south and also further west there. Abnormally dry conditions all along the Grand Rapids, up toward Ludington, down towards South Haven area. That yellow color is abnormally dry conditions. The tan color is a moderate drought, and the orange color, the bullseye up there, right around the Tri-City area, is a severe drought. So we need rain for that central part of the state. And also take note, Berrien County is also in a moderate drought further south toward the Indiana border. So we do need, we do need rain for the central part of the state here. And this week upcoming does not appear to be sufficient to quench the thirst here for our soils. But overall, we're looking at a much more pleasant week upcoming, a drier week. Pop-ups are possible, shouldn't be too big of a deal. But, in terms of hot conditions, not looking at those. In terms of humid conditions, overly humid conditions, not seeing that at all. So that's it.
I will
Did I
say
miss anything?
with some of those storm chances, Ryan, I would imagine that there's a possibility that we could have another thing like today where something like marginal pops up. That usually
Yeah.
happens like 8 out of 10 times during the summer. You have a thunderstorm outlook. Again, with so much instability out there, the hot temperatures, we get a lot of these pulse storms, and again, those pulse storms end up getting these large updrafts that have to go somewhere, and they have to go down because of gravity. They collapse in on themselves, and that's why you get like this little 5% damaging wind risks, kind of like what we saw today.
Yeah, definitely can't rule that out. But for the most part, in terms of organization, like tornado outbreaks or, big line derecho type situations, not seeing any of that to be concerned about. But yeah, as Joel mentioned, you get these summertime patterns, you really can't rule out anything severe with these pop-up storms. It's kind of like we said earlier today. It's a low chance, but never zero chance on these summer-like days.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of the speed run through things. It shouldn't be overly humid this week, 60s, perhaps a couple days getting close to 70, but compared to the past 10, 15 days, I don't think we're not gonna be as unbearable, that's for sure. We'll have a relief here. I think tomorrow will be really nice feeling 70s for some of us, for most of us actually, right around 75 to 80 degrees. So
At least it's not 100. A little too hot.
yeah, I mean, I'll take mid 80s over mid 90s any day.
Yep.
Crazy wind here in Allen Park, says T in chat.
I was gonna say,
That's,
Ryan, there was a new statement that came in while you were doing your
I
rundown.
saw that. I saw
Uh,
that. If you want to take your radar back, I'll get my stuff set back up.
yep. So this new statement's, as you saw pop on the bottom of your screen, I got to switch between the two radar sites here real quick. We do have also another statement coming in now for Oakland, but the new statement here in this tan box for Macomb and St. Clair counties is in effect for the cell that we did watch gusting out Again, the heaviest pocket right now, just to the northwest of New Baltimore, kind of where this brighter red is turning into more of an orange. So New Haven and points north, heading towards Richmond. Again, winds of 40 miles per hour, and the movement on this is northeast at 30. And it does include a great portion of St. Clair County, so it rushes, semi-rushes off to the east-northeast.
The Lake Orion camera should have a nice view of that storm moving in toward it. I'm going to get it pulled up here. It actually does. If you want to take my stream here, just a second. Let me share this over.
Okay.
There we go. Should be live.
Yep. Oh,
It
wow.
looks like some very scuddy skies, and also the rain shield moving in here. You can tell it's moving pretty fast too. Pop the overlay on this too, if you don't mind.
What was that?
Pop the overlay on it too, if you don't mind.
My headphones just died, so
You still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Pop the overlay on this, if you don't mind.
Hmm.
There we go. Camera is located in Lake Orion, and it's courtesy of Storm Guard, one of our sponsors here. So I'd install a camera on their warehouse, so appreciate Storm Guard for doing that for us. Moving pretty fast here too. Look at that scud there. That is insane. A lot of motion with that.
Definitely like a scary looking cloud in the center of your screen there. Kind of similar to what we saw
Mhm.
literally like 15 minutes ago with that shelf, that mini shelf that went over. Thing is zooming.
It is. I halfway expect it to be windy, but looking at radar doesn't look too windy. Here comes the rain. Not too windy with that. At least not yet it isn't. It's like Mike said, he's down in southern Lenawee County as well. We're going to keep a close eye on that cell as it pushes toward Blissfield. Although right now it doesn't appear to be overly gusty on the airport radar. Looking at 20 to... there's actually a pocket of 40 in there. Very, very localized, though. We'll keep a close eye on that. It is gusty, actually. Looking down here.
Check the left side of the roof. I took my corner cam off so you can kind of see it.
Decent downpour there. Definitely not severe, but very fun to watch move in there. You can see the rain curtains moving in the background there, too. Very nice.
I got to be very selective when I speak because every time I am not speaking and I'm letting you speak, I have to mute my mic because otherwise you're going to be echoing through it about 700 times a second.
I'll delay myself between when you speak and when I speak.
Perfect.
It does look like Mike has a good view too up there in the top right if you want to take him full. Nice shelf cloud looks like on it, or at least some type of base. Mike is going to be on US 223, crossing US 23 right now by the truck stop. That's going to be exit 5. I know exactly where that's at. That's crazy. Nice view there. He's facing to the west toward Blissfield. Yep, this is currently no severe weather. In fact, Joel, I don't know if you want to wrap things up soon, but I mean, we had nothing going on here since that warning. Just a lot of, pockets of gusty winds, but nothing that's become severe yet. So we can probably wait for this bold or the blob of rain over the Detroit area to move out because that's a little gusty as well as the Macomb County area. But otherwise, there's not much here to track.
Well, you say that,
Uh,
and then they'll probably trigger a warning.
yeah, check up there by the Tuscola County area by Wisner. Looks like a new statement coming in for Wayne County for Detroit area. Dearborn camera is actually in the middle of that too. Let's go ahead and try and take a peek at what that looks like. Ooh, take Dearborn camera. It's a little gusty there. Just a little gusty. Statement is going to be again winds in excess of 40 miles per hour.
It's kind of mesmerizing to watch the rain curtains dance in the street.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed watching that. A lot of heavy rain moving through the Dearborn, Detroit area. Wouldn't be shocked to see some small, localized, quick flooding throughout that blob of rain as it moves into the downtown area. It actually looked pretty gusty. What time is that? 7:16. I'm gonna back that up and while it's quiet out there, back it up here and try and figure out if there was actually more intense wind as this moved over. Looks like a new statement coming in from Monroe.
Yeah,
Did I read that right?
I had a couple new statements just come in. These are going to be, well, I was first of all going to look at that storm you're mentioning up here, heading towards Akron. It does have a very, very high-based rotation on it. Very, very weak, of course. As you can see on your normal base reflectivity radar, that is the classic kidney bean shape of an elevated supercell. As that, again, is heading across portions of northwestern Tuscola County. So we'll keep an eye on this one as it continues off to the east-northeast, about 35 miles per hour. We'll go down to the airport radar here real quick. The new statement here for Wayne, for downtown Detroit, is in effect for 40 mile per hour winds. And then there was the one for Monroe, which hasn't come in yet. That'll be in just a second. If you have the details on that, Ryan, feel free to read them off on the Monroe one. Actually, nope, it just came
Yeah,
in. Never mind, I got it. Monroe is for 40 mile per hour winds as well. So everything's pretty much every single tan box on here is 40 mile per hour winds. The only caveat is whether or not it has pea-sized hail also included or not. I think either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 of these special weather statements all have no hail. So again, just 40 mile per hour winds. So it's just a normal gusty thunderstorm out there. Nothing severe, but strong winds is still measured at 40 miles per hour. Can bring down a couple branches, and you definitely don't want to be underneath any trees, especially for the wind. And on top of that, you also have frequent cloud to ground lightning occurring today. The storms, at least earlier this afternoon, were a lot more powerful. They're kind of getting a little bit weaker as we get towards sunset here, but sun's still out, still shining pretty bright, and it's something that'll still be happening out there as the instability stays fairly high. I have your Dearborn cam back. We do have labels, Kaylee, but we have to manually toggle them on and off. And also, they're sometimes in the top right corner, but unless they're covered up by one of our other chasers that are out there. You can see this is live from Dearborn. Looking to the northwest, we just had a nice gusty shower move through. It's currently special weather statemented for downtown Detroit.
Winds did get pretty gusty with it. I probably estimate 40-mile-per-hour winds there on the camera. And not severe, but gusty enough. Relocate your trash can fairly efficiently. And now there's lightning on the Dearborn camera.
New statement coming in now for Tuscola County. This is going to be probably for the same thing here real quick. I'm going to get a statement in. Give me 1 second. This is going to be for that cell, Ryan, that we were watching for northern Tuscola County. 40-mile-per-hour winds, no hail expected, and I don't see anything in terms of rotation mentioned.
I haven't been posting those, truthfully. Oh, got you. I'm working on getting the video from Dearborn up. It was gusty. I think it's worth posting, so throw it up there.
Okay, I'm going to post the statement for Tuscola, and then you can go ahead and do that.
Okay. Oh, we will say down by where Mike is at, there is a nice pocket showing up on the airport radar just south of Riga. Moving up toward where Mike is actually positioned near exit 5, 46, pocket of 46-mile-per-hour winds there, moving up toward his location. So he's in a good spot for it.
Aaron, you are good to post on all platforms.
It's going to take me a second to get it uploaded.
All good. What do you guys mean by you like to watch the curtains dance? So every single storm has just rain curtains underneath. They kind of come in like little tiny waves. It's kind of like watching the waves on the lake. They're kind of a little nice spaced out. And when you have a nice recently paved road, you can see it like a black surface, especially. So it would be like a nice paved road. You can see the rain curtains a lot better. And again, they're just kind of mesmerizing to watch as they kind of shift and cross and do a little bit of like wavy action. I don't know, it just looks cool. As a reminder, we are still looking for any damage reports from specifically Eastern Michigan today. If you have any down trees, feel free to share that with us. Michigan Weather Reports. That is a group page on Facebook. You can also join our Discord server and put them in our damage channel. That is an option. But specifically, we're looking for damage reports from the Lake Lancer area up in Buttman, which is going to be Gladwin County in kind of central Michigan regions, again, north of Saginaw, north of Bay City up there, just to the west of I-75, essentially. We had a tornado warning up there. That's what prompted this stream. Well, technically it was a severe thunderstorm warning, but the tornado warning came about 5 minutes later. And yeah, we appear to have seen some sort of CC correlation coefficient, which again is your measurement of things that are floating around the atmosphere that are non-uniform in nature, so things that might be like debris up in the Lake Lancer area. But again, it was too far away from the radar site to kind of tell. So again, we do need some damage reports. We've had one so far, and I believe that is it. So again, if you're living
Yeah,
in
and
the Lake,
also, sorry, I was gonna say, keep a close eye on that cell up in Tuscola County. I'm still somewhat impressed with how it looks. It's a mini bean still with a decent velocity on it.
we got Fun Times with a $50 super chat in here on YouTube saying thank you MSC for the membership gifts. We'll be doing a membership drop for the next live stream, probably some sort more super chats. I'll be in all future live streams for the many years to come. Thank you very much, Fun Times, for your generous support today. Appreciate you very much. We hope to see you back here soon, and being generous as always. So thank you very much, and thank you for watching today. Hashtag Sunday Fun Day. Absolutely.
Looks like the Harbor Beach camera is also getting impacted by a nice rain core right now.
I have
It
you
was
up.
it was more impressive a few minutes ago, but I mean, a camera looking pretty cool clouds, I guess, to the west here. This is from the Old Stone Porch in Ionia, a wedding venue there. We got the Storm Guard camera, Lake Orion. Ooh, Amatis, top right. Do you see that? Get Mike's, yeah, up there, top right. I wonder if the Burton camera would have a nice view on that. Kind of. So back to the Burton camera, or the Lake Orion camera. That is Amatis, 100%. Now I'm curious if I can see it from my house.
Ryan has gone to look outside. Which will put his camera. I don't know if it's still alive. It is still alive. So he's got a north cam from Lenawee County. Mike is still out there chasing right now. He's sitting in the rain down in Monroe County, which we have on the screen right now. Let me go ahead and switch it back to our base reflectivity. Again, special weather statement in effect for Monroe County. 40-mile-per-hour winds is the hazard here. Moving northeast at 35. You have a special weather statement up here for 40-mile-per-hour winds as well. Moving northeast at 35 in Wayne. Macomb, St. Clair, moving northeast at 30 for 40-mile-per-hour winds. Oakland County, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour for 40-mile-per-hour winds. And I believe we have that one in Tuscola County here, moving east at 35 for 40-mile-per-hour winds as well. We're also watching for some very weak rotation just around the Fairgrove area. It has been kind of staying like that. A little bit of a kidney bean shape there on radar. Usually a sign of a little bit of rotation ongoing. But as it stands right now, it looks very, very weak and not worth mentioning. There's also, Ryan, a nice strong storm offshore on the Saginaw Bay. That would be heading up towards Port Austin, which has had its fair share of run-ins with tornadic storms. Again, there's a lot of vorticity in the atmosphere, the way Lake Michigan and the thumb of Michigan kind of interact. There's a lot of vorticity that's always sitting out here, and so a lot of funkiness always does happen in the thumb of Michigan. So we'll keep an eye on this storm again, given today that we've had a lot of higher amounts of shear, which is your spin with height in this portion of the state. So we'll keep an eye on this. But as it stands right now, no severe warnings in effect, and we might be good here real quick, unless you're seeing anything, Ryan, to shout out our sponsors and then hop off for a little bit, maybe start some Part 2 coverage. Take a little break at least, and if need to go live again for Part 2 coverage, we will go ahead and do that. But as it stands right now, I don't believe there's anything else that we need to cover.
I agree with that. I don't see much of anything here. I am watching that storm off toward Port Huron, but that's really about anything that I see that's close to being strong in nature. Even that's not even looking. It was impressive a few scans ago, and now it doesn't look too impressive at all. So, yeah, I would agree with you. I will say though, Detroit north does have some gusty winds there off the airport radar, just north of downtown. And as well, the Lake Orion camera has a beautiful shot there of the distant thunderhead. So very picturesque even out there.
A couple rainfall reports coming in from across central and northern Michigan today. So Gladwin County, you saw those big clusters of storms earlier that just kind of engulfed the entire county. And there was so much rain here across Gladwin County that there has been a confirmed report of, get this, 4.5 inches of rain in Beaverton, Michigan. That is the southwest corner of Gladwin County, just north of Midland and Coleman, from the rain that has hit this portion of the state today, training over the same area. We have a 2.1 inch report just south of Skidway Lake in Aranac County, and a bunch of inch to an inch and a half reports up near Petoskey and Charlevoix in extreme northern lower Michigan. There's also a 1 inch report, 1.5 inch report for portions of Alcona and Iosco County, as well as, again, that was a place that's gotten a lot of the rain today across the state of Michigan. But before we head out, of course, with that all being said in terms of getting caught up on reports, we got to get through our sponsors here. Again, our sponsors are a big thing here at Michigan Storm Chasers, helps keep our operations flowing smoothly. We appreciate them very much. We're going to go ahead and shout them out. Going in order here, starting with our first one, Storm Guard Roofing and Construction, based out of North Metro Detroit, our longest standing sponsor here at MSC. Got Lifestyle Exteriors, based out of Central Michigan. Also have Katz Roofing and Siding, based out of Lansing down to Battle Creek. Pro Powder, Southwest Michigan, South Haven area. All your powder coating needs there. Got Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding, based out of Sanilac and St. Clair counties in the Thumb. McKay Tree Specialists, based out of Southeast Michigan for all of your tree service needs, and Kuiper Tree Care for all of your tree service needs in West Michigan. Also have FBI Buildings, based out of the entire Lower Peninsula for all your outdoor barn dominium needs. On Top Roofing, That is based out of Livingston County. Schneider Commercial Building Solutions, based out of Lansing, as well as Shield Public Adjusters, also based out of Lansing. Both of those for commercial building and insurance adjustment needs. Got Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors, that is based out of West Michigan. A-Class Construction and Restoration, and that's based out of Mason County up there near Ludington. Rainbow Restoration, based out of Kent County as well, for all of your restoration needs in the West Michigan area. Our newest sponsor, Rapid Radios, for all of our MSC two-way communications here. Our newest partner. Thank you, Rapid Radios. And finally, Guardian Technologies, for all of your security camera needs. Feel free to reach out to Guardian. Again, also our host for all of our Skynet cams that you see across the state, such as the one currently on your screen in Manistee, where the carnival is being torn down and Ryan is very sad.
I am very sad, but I'm also being entertained by these kite surfers out there. Very entertaining. But yes, the carnival is being packed up, and I'm very disappointed. So.
Yep. Also like to take this quick moment to also shout out our moderators in chat today. Again, there's a couple of them between Facebook and YouTube. Shout out to all of them for helping out with chat today, and hopefully it was a good chat today. You guys aren't too unruly in there, otherwise, they will bring the band hammer down on you if you do misbehave. So, again, shout out to our mods, love them very much. Thank you guys for helping out with chat today, keeping everyone in check.
I'd be hesitant, Joel, to hop off of here immediately just because that pocket of wind just north of Detroit is right at 50 miles per hour. I would hate to pop off. They warned the very far northern half of Wayne. I don't think they will, but that area there. Look on your airport radar. It's at 50 or so.
52 miles per hour, about 700 feet off the ground, heading off into Lake St. Clair here shortly.
I'll leave it your call. If you want to pop off, I'm okay with it. But if you want to wait 5 or 10 more minutes, I'm cool with it too.
Debating.
Based on what storms have done today and what Detroit has done, I wouldn't expect them to warn this. I wouldn't expect it to grow and strengthen any further than what it already is.
Yeah, I think we should be good. Again, Detroit's track record, they have not issued a severe warning yet today. I'm knocking on wood right now because we say this stuff and it's going to happen. So I'm knocking on wood. They have not issued a warning yet today. The only warnings issued today were a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning for Gladwin County, which is technically part of Gaylord's jurisdiction. It's their southernmost county in their jurisdiction out there where all the radars don't really see out too far. So which is why we were asking you guys for damage reports, because radars can't quite reach out to there. But yeah, those are issued by the National Weather Service Gaylord. And again, this wind is about to head off onto Lake St. Clair in like 3 minutes. Looks like everyone wants us to stay, so I guess we'll just hang out and watch the radar.
All right, guys, we'll stay out. We'll hang out here and watch the radar. It's all good.
Backed by popular demand.
If that's the case, so I'm ripping into my packages that I got today from Amazon.
You can kind of see on radar here how there's a little bit of a gust front that's also sticking out down into the Windsor area of southwest Ontario. That little curved back line in the red. But again, the strongest pockets are just to the northeast of downtown Detroit right now. Pretty much heading right into the Grosse Pointe Farms area within the next couple minutes. These radar scans are coming in at every minute, which is that's the nice thing about this airport radar is they're very, very quick. And again, this is heading up pretty much straight up Mack Avenue and heading into Grosse Pointe Farms. That's basically the only location that would be impacted by these gusty winds. They're kind of extending out a little bit towards Grosse Pointe Woods and East Point as well, which is extreme southern Macomb County. But overall, this threat should move on to Lake St. Clair here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. By around probably 7:50, we should be good.
We just put a special marine warning out for the waters of Lake St. Clair. Wind gust of 34 knots or greater.
And that blue box on your screen is the special marine warning. So it's like the equivalent of a severe thunderstorm warning, but for boaters. So if you know you're on Lake St. Clair right now, as well as up the St. Clair River, heading up towards Port Huron, that is all in the special marine warning. So you do want to be taking safe harbor immediately if you're out on the lake. And gusty winds are possible greater than 34 knots, I believe is what it says.
Yeah, still a nice pocket there of appears to be 50-mile-per-hour winds. Directly over the Eden Gardens neighborhood, moving into Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Shores, East Point, and Grosse Pointe Farms.
You know what's funny is I was just talking about how they're doing 1 minute scans, and as soon as I said that, they changed it back to 5 minute scans on the airport radar. So just love how that works. That just it probably goes to show you that there's really no concerns for weather around the airport, but also just in Southeast Michigan in general. They're able to put the scans back to further apart to conserve data. So keep that in mind. Slower scans now. Again, the storm is pretty much about to be on Lake St. Clair in probably the next 3-ish minutes now.
Guys are in the Grosse Pointe area. Let us know if you're getting any winds or not. According to radar, I'd say you guys are.
So on your screen right now is a live loop of the radar. Left side is the base reflectivity. Right side is your velocity, so measurement of wind speed. Base reflectivity is your measurement of the intensity of the rain that's falling. And every tan box you see on your screen is a special weather statement, which we have 4 of those out there right now. Oakland County, Tuscola County, portions of St. Clair and Macomb, and 1 for Monroe. no severe warnings currently in effect. But we have been live for almost 3 hours. We're about to hop off here soon. And if you really truly liked what we did today, want to see more of us, feel free to hit that like button. And of course, follow us here at MSC. Happy to provide this coverage for you guys 24/7, 365 days a year. So join the journey. Feel free to follow and subscribe today. All right, Ryan, you should be back in my ears.
Test 1, 2.
Yep. Don't have to worry about muting myself every time now.
Yay. And just as we're about to hop off.
That's okay.
I am exiting out of my stuff because we are pretty much done here.
You also notice up north the rain shield from all the rain they've gotten today is starting to move out. Traverse City to Cadillac starting to dry up out there. Still got northeast, lower Michigan that's seeing a lot of light to moderate rain. Alpena, Harrisville, down towards Mayo, and over towards Grayling. But otherwise, if you're off to the west, still got or you get the dry conditions moving in. Most of this rain should be moving out by the midnight time frame. Could linger as late as 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning, but otherwise, again, it should be a rather dry night out there for most locations, and our severe weather chances have dwindled considerably. We've had a 1 tornado warning, 1 severe thunderstorm warning today as a recap, and those were both in Gladwin County. Very sneaky little storm that decided to rotate in some higher levels of shear. Other than that, though, it's just been special weather statement mayhem, kind of like what we see a lot here in the state of Michigan. That keeps us live for a while, keeps us on our toes, and we're happy to relay this information back to y'all.
Well, Joel, what do you think?
I think we are good. That storm is now pushing onto the lake, the one that we're watching for potential 50-mile-per-hour winds, of course, there in southern Macomb County, northern Wayne. So I think we're good. Ryan, do you want to throw any last-second plugs in for anything MSC related?
Can't think of anything. We already covered everything sponsor-wise, camera-wise, and yeah.
Sweet.
If you guys haven't already on YouTube, hit the subscribe button on our journey to 100,000 subscribers here. We're about 60% there. So any subscriptions will help us greatly. It's free to do. Helps us out quite a bit. But in terms of severe weather, I would think that tonight's pretty much over. Just some scattered storms on the very far eastern side of Michigan. And if anything does happen to go severe, Joel and I will be back on here covering it in its entirety from beginning to the end. So with that said, I'll turn it back over to Joel. I'll catch you all later. Hopefully not tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, hit that like and the share button on the way out. Show you care, like and share. And we'll catch you next time here for another live stream at MSC. Whether that's a briefing or severe weather coverage is yet to be seen, but we will be here nonetheless. So you all have a great night, no matter where you're watching from, in and out of the state of Michigan. And we'll catch you back here next time at MSC. Have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.